What's the motherfucking deal? Welcome to the den. I'm glad that you could join me this afternoon. I'm your host, Ed Honcho. Let's get this proper protocol popping. You hear me? Shout out to Culture, I appreciate it. So we're gonna continue the conversation that we kind of got into last night, but not necessarily directly about that, because I think people have kind of made their minds up. They're going to choose whatever they want to believe. We'll get into that. But I want to talk about people in public places. And I'm not talking Publix like a joke, like Publix. But I mean like public places, period, and how you should handle public interactions with people. What is proper protocol? What is right? What is wrong? What is legal? What is illegal? I think there's so many layers, especially to this story. And there's a lot of things that I want to bring from this story, and I want to apply to everyday life to determine whether or not the right things are being done. So, again, welcome to the den. I hope you're all having a magnificent Monday. Is it? I hope it is Monday. I don't know. I mean, my days be off. We'll try to have the regular stream, but the weather is. I can hear the weather sounding kind of crazy out there. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, ass clown is with me today. Are we gonna behave? We never behave. We try to behave. We don't ever behave. So let's talk about it, man. Let's get into it. Let's have some good conversation. I hope everybody is doing well. And let's see who we have joining us today, and let's go. Mac 11, what's the motherfucking deal? Characters, I'm not sure, but shout out. I believe there's some type of Asian character. I'm not sure what that means or says, but shout out to you. Sweetberry 32, what's the motherfucking deal? Baker Man, what's the motherfucking deal? K Grace, what's the motherfucking, how are you, Miss Grace? It's always good to see Miss Grace. When I see Miss Grace in the den, it's a good feeling. Only one, I don't know so much about you. I don't know, you're supposed to be a New Yorker. John, my new favorite New Yorker. Only one don't be want to call in. John be coming in, dropping that heat, and only one be talking shit. She be trying to flex with me and try to, she want to be swindled. I like only one, I'm just talking shit. Ruby Roo, what's the motherfucking deal? 335, what's the motherfucking deal? Nikki motherfucking Nicole, what's the motherfucking deal? You got her from your nap. Look how the trash talk just come in. I ain't even said nothing. Angela already coming here with the eyes, you know what I'm saying? Let me see, Sourberry, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see, make sure ain't nobody napping. This guy is a lazy bud. You a lazy dog, your face is dirty. Anyway. So let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it. Like I say, so we're gonna get into parts of it. I don't wanna make it all about that, but I'm sure the conversation is gonna come up, and it's going to be certain elements of that conversation that do happen. You too comfortable. You're really, really too comfortable. But I'm sure there's certain elements of that conversation that are going to come back up. And I did go back and I watched the 15-minute video. And honestly, you can watch everything else, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that 15-minute video tells you everything that you need to know. And if I was or wasn't biased prior to, which I don't think I was, there's just too many things that were going on that just signaled, that a story, the story made only sense to me one way. But anyway, we'll get to that. What does that mean? There's not a Caucasian man. See, like, y'all gotta stop putting your feelings in this stuff. This is what I'm saying. Like, do you realize, like, there's no such thing as Mexican in America, but you identify Mexicans differently than you do white people because of your perceived image. But if you look on any census, anything in there, it's going to say white, Hispanic, white, non-Hispanic. So by him saying that he is white, but he's Cuban, it's the same thing as him saying he's Mexican and him saying whatever. So that saying that he's a white guy or he's whatever, that's not changing anything. It doesn't matter if he's white, black, pink, purple, gray. Again, like I say, the issues that take place in there, but that doesn't make him any less Cuban. If his mom is Cuban or whoever's half Cuban or whatever, that doesn't change anything. Nobody's calling Barack Obama white. He's half white. He was raised by the white side, but nobody says, "Hey, look at that white guy right there." So that's what I'm saying. We got to play things down the middle, right? Hey, we play things down the middle, the way that it goes, right? And boy, man, and I was just thinking about some stuff with Barry, and you know what I find real funny, because a lot of people get mad. Oh, y'all always talking about what Barry didn't do for niggas, but he sure did a lot of stuff for gay people. Do you realize like 60 of Obama's top donators are now? Can y'all guess who they're putting their money behind? Can y'all guess who they're putting their money behind? Because that is very bad. So that means there's a lot of people out there that don't know who they are, because there's a lot of motherfuckers that don't know who their goddamn daddy is. Mama's baby, daddy maybe. But y'all want to know? I mean, take a while of all the candidates that are available in the Democratic Party right now. And I don't want to get into politics because it's just, but take a wild guess of all the viable candidates. 60 of Obama's top donators are putting money behind one candidate. I'll let y'all figure that out. I'll tell y'all in about 2 minutes. But anyway, get into this story, right? So like I said, I watched the whole 15 minutes of whatever. And again, man, her story is hard to believe the way that it was told. Those would only make sense, but neither one of those guys. And the reason why is because here, Studio City knows. Yes. Pete the booty freak. Why would 60 of Obama's top donators put their money behind the gay man? I don't know. And there's a reason that they called him America's first gay president and everything else. But that's another conversation for another time and another place. But my thing is this. You can tell by the interaction, what happened. When you watch the long interaction where they're actually in the same place, it's very interesting. It's very interesting because you see he started doing the interview, she cuts him off, and then she's like, oh, he's just for the 5 minutes of fame. He just wants the 5 minutes of fame. What do they call that? It's not a Freudian slip or something like that. I may be using it improperly. But to me, it's kind of what she's trying to do, because regardless of how that happened, it should have been an interaction that took place in that store and left at that. Women, and I want y'all to be honest with me, because she's talking about she feared for her life, and she's going on these platforms that of course are going to cater in favor to her because of what they stand for, what they represent, who's behind them. Don't start all that nonsense, Scotty. Any woman that is significantly larger than a man feels like she can take that man out. True or false? Whether it's wrong or right, whether the physicality can't happen, in her mind, any woman that is significantly bigger than a man, and if you are a woman that's been bigger than a man and you've come across, in your mind, you thought, I could take that dude out. Yeah, I'm saying we know the science behind it. We know the biological differences. But is it true just in your mind that you contemplate the fact that I'm bigger than him, I could take him out? I'm not saying that it's possible, but has the thought ever occurred? Have you ever seen a man bigger than him and thought that you could? I'm just curious. I may be wrong about this, right? Yes, Nikki, and I hope you call in and share. Let all your coworkers know you be listening to this ratchet shit. But what I'm saying is, okay, that woman was not afraid for life. That woman was not afraid for her life dealing with that dude. In no way. Now, he says there's video to back it. I want to see the video so bad so we can really clear all of this stuff up, right? And listening to her is why I say I don't believe her, because it's been a multitude of lies that she said. Because first she said, when she came out with the whole story, she's like, I had like 15 items and, he attacked me. But then when they were live on camera and he was there, she said she only had 11 items. You just came from the store. You know what you bought. If this incident happened, let me tell you something. If that incident happened, you looked at your receipt or the items that you bought, you double checked it just to address your point. So that's how you know it was a lie there. then, it went from, he said all these other things. And I think that he would have openly admitted, if he's admitting to call a little bitch and everything, he didn't seem very flustered or emotional in his response. But she kept going back to the 9 months pregnant thing. Now, this is another element of the topic, and I want to talk about public and public places, not just about her. That should you have an extra level of respect for a woman who is pregnant? This is an important thing, This is important. She said 12 and her daughter had 3. Interesting. Because like I said, I know when she said 15 at first on the thing I saw on Facebook Live, and then like I said, I saw her on this interview because I just watched the interview before the thing, and she said she only had 11 things. So like I said, the numbers keep changing. So that's where I'm at right there. Okay, 12 is still over the limit. And like I said, I didn't watch that other video because again, that's a video where she's in an environment that's catering to her, so I can't take that as an unbiased source. She said 11. She said 15 first, and then she said 11. Like I never heard the 12. The first video I saw she might have said 12 on that interview, but the first video she ever put out, she said she had 15 items, and then the other one was. Like I said, she said she had 11 when she talked about to old buddy. Women deserve respect whether pregnant or not? No, that's not true. I posted a video in the Den group today and said why men are looking at a lot of women the way they are. Because we talked about music and how it impacts society. And y'all may have seen the video. It may have, like I said, today was my first time seeing it, so I posted it. It's 4 women dancing in a pharmacy with a bottle of Hennessy, talking about all I need is some Henny and some Plan B, and they in there pussy popping on the floor and dancing all around, and one bitch talking about, I dropped my Plan B. They all got Plan B on their tongues and doing all of that stuff, right? See, but here's the thing though, let's talk about public. It is his business. If you're interacting with anybody in public, in a public place, you have the right to say something. You can say whatever you want to. If you're walking down the street now, it's different when you say something harassing, because then you're talking about, I guess, I don't know what verbal assault is. I don't know. Some of these things don't make sense to me. But this is what he said happened. And again, video will show proof if video ever comes out. He said he went up to her and said, excuse me, ma'am, with all due respect, and pointed at the sign. Is that a rude interaction? It's none of your damn business. No, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Right? I don't think there's a problem with him saying that. I don't think, then after he said that, she approached him, which I believe because she's shown more aggressive behavior in these little interactions right there. Bob from account. With all these little interactions that they've had, she's been the aggressor, right? But yet, we don't know what was said, but then we're taking all these hypotheticals from her. This is what I'm saying. Like, what I've noticed is that when it comes to what he said, we don't know what he said. But when she said, she said this, she said she had 12, so, again, my thing is this. I feel like as long as you're not discrediting anybody, you're not insulting anybody, and come up to somebody and saying, hey, well, look, you got, this is a 10-item lane, and you got, more than that. That's not insulting. That's not assault. Is it less than tactful? Yeah, probably. So my thing is this. Did she probably get mad and this? Absolutely, I believe that. Why? Because she did it multiple times, even in the thing. When he was interviewing, that's like she wasn't even impressed. She just came onto the scene. If you watch body language tells you more than, like, I could really care less about anything that they've said. Like, body language is something that I study. I haven't been on it as much, but it's like I say, it's certain things that you can tell. I guess I won't say study the behind it, but watching people in their body language. It's something that I study often, something that I pay a lot of attention to because it tells you so much more than the words that are coming out of their mouth, right? And the body language This nigga was knocked all the way out. This nigga was really asleep. The body language says that she was and has been the aggressor in that confrontation, you know. But here's my thing, though. Okay? You know, as what was said, that, and yes, I love it because it stirred up drama. I'm getting y'all fired up today. Put some light in your life. But what was said, if there was 3 lanes, and 3 lanes were all open, what makes you feel as a person knowing that you have more than that to immediately go to the express lane, even though the other lanes were open? He said all 3 were open. He pointed that out, and he went to another lane and did whatever he wanted to do. Nothing wrong with that, fine and dandy. Now, most people, would go out, but everybody's not going to do everything that everybody else does, and that's what makes the world such a wonderful place, right? And all of those actions, we're just talking about the public aspect of it, because when we get to the social media, when you get to the going live, I don't care what any of you say, she was completely wrong for all that. The interaction, how it initiated and all that, it could have been a non-event. Could have been nothing. It really was. But, you know, he came back and he said something about it, made it a thing, right? So here's my deal. I'm gonna talk about your transaction. I'm gonna talk about everything. I'm like, what you got going on? Why you buying that bullshit? I'm gonna talk about people. What y'all gonna do? Nothing. Get mad about it. But so, like I said, there's 2 layers to the story. And again, the actual interaction by him coming back and saying something, you could say he started. Was she in the lane with too many things? Yeah, absolutely. But the majority of people wouldn't make a big deal about it. Other lanes were available. It is what it is. Now, her going to social media and fabricating aspects of the story made it much worse than what it is. And that's where I feel like the most fraudulence happened, because now you're a legislator. You have platforms, you have accessibility, you have followings, you have followers who are going to believe anything that you said, no matter what. You get to play the card that everybody else is playing. All the black and brown people across, I stand up, man, you don't stand up for me. I'm going to tell y'all that. If a motherfucker say they stand up for all, whoever, they can stand up for y'all. They do not stand up for me. I stand up for my motherfucking self. Okay, so if I have an issue, I stand up for me. I don't need nobody else to stand up for my issues, my problems, my whatever. Scotty, go to sleep. But anyway, that's just my personal feelings. If y'all like people standing up for y'all, that's cool. But I stand up for my own personal issues. So usually when somebody says something like that, I'm gonna disagree. But you know. But she used certain cues and keys. You know, everybody, like I talked about the pregnant woman thing earlier. When you say a pregnant woman, everybody feels a certain level of sympathy because she's pregnant. Pregnant women are the most violent, most aggressive people in this country. I'm running on that campaign. My thing was this, right? My thing was this. And he said he didn't go out of the store for it. He said he put a foot out the store, then he turned around and came back in. So, you know, all of that, he went to the car and put up groceries and came back, that did not happen. So my thing was this. Either way, like I say, most people would let it go. And so that I say, I feel like the story itself being there, it should have started and ended in Publix. It should have been, like I say, a non-factor, right? Should have been a non-factor. But now it's become this national news. It's so funny how he quoted and said the exact same thing that's gotten everybody riled up. He said he quoted Trump exactly. Go back to your country, or go back to where you're from. And where is this? Was this? I don't know what area of Georgia. I don't know if it was necessarily Atlanta, where it's nothing but niggas over there in Atlanta. But I guess, you know, like I said, just a lot of this stuff. It's opportunistic. And it creates a problem, because now what happens is, whether it's about him or not, and whether his life's in danger or not, you create this false narrative. And this is what bothers me, because maybe it's something going on that I'm missing. And I look at this shit so different. Remember when it used to be, quote unquote, everybody was supposed to be afraid of black people? That was the narrative. Whether it was true or not, because he was an angry black man, angry black woman, everybody was afraid of black people, they're bad, this, and this. Now it seems like it's flipped to the black people are scared of everything. You know? Now it's the black people are afraid of everything, right? And not that that's here or there. But I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't want y'all to be misconstrued and think I'm one of them people, because look, all this, they said this and my kids are afraid to walk, my kids are afraid to do this. Man, fuck all that dumb shit, man. Y'all gotta stop with these narratives, because this is the shit like this non-incident, which did not take place in the way she said, regardless if he was wrong, which he was probably for saying something, because he just went on about his way. He probably didn't have shit to do. I'm sure he was mad about a bunch of other shit and just decided to take it out, or say something about it. Then she approached him aggressively and it escalated, because he thought he'd probably just be able to say what he wanted to and, drop the mic and walk out, and he didn't get the mic drop moment he wanted, and it turned into something else. But we gotta stop pushing this "we're afraid of everything" fucking narrative, because I'm tired of that bullshit. Like, I'm not rocking with the cowards. I'm not rocking with the "we're afraid of this." Man, if you're afraid, go stand like on the sideline somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're talking about you afraid of everything, you shouldn't be leading anybody's movement. Like, and again, I don't know how I feel about movements and all this other shit, but if you sitting here telling you're afraid of this, you're afraid of that, you're afraid of this, well, then your job is to maybe be in the supporting cast or something. Because I'm tired of people pushing these people to the forefront. We're afraid of this and all that. Man, look, ain't nothing ever got accomplished without a fight. And if you're afraid to fight, then, well, hey, you're in the wrong arena. But it is what it is. I need video, because everybody he said he took a foot out the door and then turned back around, which is technically leaving, I guess. But all the stuff is, she said the cops were looking for him. He said he talked to the cops. Like I say, it's so much of all this other shit that's going on and false narratives. Like I say, this whole thing, when it comes down to it, he was petty. Yeah, he was petty. But all of us have a little bit of petty. You got bad kids running around the store, and stop, you're another George Zimmerman. Stop. Now y'all going too far. If you got badass kids running around the store, you're not gonna watch them motherfuckers run around and bumping. I'll trip the shit out your kids. Is it right? No. But you need to have motherfucking control. So, and if you got something to say about it, I'll tell you about your badass kids. My thing is this. I don't know. I think he would. That's a big old broad, man. Look, he was testing his nuts, because she is much bigger than him. You already know the black stereotypes. I think he was just fucking upset about whatever he was upset about. Because let's be honest, he already said he didn't know that she was, he already said that he didn't know that she was pregnant. So he automatically assumed she was a big body. He was about that action. I don't care what y'all saying. I was a badass kid running around the store. Man, look, nah, I was not a badass kid running around the store. My mama ain't had that shit. It took one or two good times. What I used to do when I was young, I used to run in the clothing store and go dive in the middle of clothes racks and hide, right? My mama caught me one good time and whooped my ass in that motherfucking store. Well, that was the end of that. And I remember, because there was a lady too, looked at her like, oh my God. My mom was like, what? I'll whoop you too. And she carried on about her motherfucking business. Now look, but she got that blonde, no. But what now? Now, bad boo, since you cracking jokes. What about that hairdo? So yeah, what I was talking about the other day. But I believe this is in a moment for attention seeking. I think she's pregnant emotion. I really think that's what it is. Was it the best judgment? I don't think so, because I don't think this man is. Look at that fucking dude. He's a super liberal. He's a crybaby too about a lot of shit. He's, like I say, crying about the Trump shit, crying about prejudice and injustice, and he's one of them. He's damn near SJW. He's not a George Zimmerman. He's like a he's like a George Zimmerman. He's not a George Zimmerman. He's a something else. He's not a threat to anybody. You know what I'm saying? She's not a threat to anybody. I don't know when she got elected. I don't know when she's going to be reelected. But this will do nothing. This won't damage her campaign. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, she took an incident that was relevant. But I didn't want to talk about this. Like, I really want to talk about just public and dealing with people. Because like I said, we all have to deal with each other in society. Point blank period. Whether it's at work, whether it's making transactions in the store, whether it is just in traffic, whether it's any, and I find it super funny. I don't know, man. Maybe I live in a different world because I don't have these kind of interactions. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Hey, if she knows that the child is special needs, she needs to have it under control. She knows the situation. I don't know the situation. I'm gonna assume it's a normal ass kid, and if the motherfucker is bad and bumping into me and playing soccer in the fucking CC's while I'm trying to eat and shit, well, something gonna happen. Like, control your goddamn kids. If you know the kid has special tendencies or special needs, then you need to have that under control when you go out in public. May it sound rude, but it's true. I don't know that. I don't know that when the child. I'm not walking or going around or going about my day assuming every possible outcome with every person that I deal with. I'm not finna do that. Same way, you getting too comfortable. You finna, hold on, Scotty, you got to go. Because you doing too much, player. You can nestled up, and doing all that. I'm not finna sit here assuming that, oh, well, this kid could be special needs. They could be this, that, and the third. They could be anything. Yeah, dude, stay there. What you gonna do? You gonna fight? You ain't gonna do that. Lay your ass down. Yeah. Yo, yawning ass, nigga. I take all my racial oppression out on Scotty. No, I didn't call you. No, I didn't call you over here. Go away. No, I just said your name. Look, I don't know. Some of these women, look, some of them you can't tell when they pregnant. Okay, that ain't my fault. I'm not assuming. I'm not making assumptions. What is it? 40% of Americans are obese. I mean, hey, look, it is what it is. But all I'm gonna say, look, I've been talking for a bit. Let me open up the line because I want to argue with y'all. I want to argue with y'all today, goddamn. Let's argue. Let's start the week off right. Let's get some good arguments going on. Talk some shit. You want to talk some shit? Y'all ever seen that video with the shit talking hotline? It's all kind of niggas waiting to talk some shit. White niggas, black niggas, broke niggas, dog niggas, Jewish niggas. And it's like, it is one of the greatest. I forgot where it came from, but yeah. He calls her a lazy bitch, and the reason why he calls her a lazy bitch because she goes to the line with too many when there were other lines available. I don't think it has anything to do with the racial aspect of it. I personally don't. I think he said that because she went to a line that was not designated for her. Let me get that. Hold on 1 second. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we have calling in to the den this evening?
My God, did I miss you yesterday when I was at the beach?
Oh, you at the beach? Did you have a good time at the beach?
Heck yeah, Hosneck Beach. When it gets hot, the waves go so high that they go over your head, so you just jump the waves or you ride them, you body surf. It's cool. It's cool. So my kids, my granddaughter and I, we were at the beach all day. But yeah, that lady, I woke up this morning when I saw your video. I'm like, why has he got me started first thing in the morning? She did wrong first when she went to that quick lane to check out. Because some of us do that. If it says 10 and you get away with 11, what happens after that? Then people do 12, then they do 15. So it has to be stopped. If you can get away with it, God bless you, you got away with it. You mean the supermarket down the street from my house? Months back, somebody tried to go through with 20 and it was supposed to be 15. The cashier cussed her ass out and sent her on her way and got off the cash register. I'm not doing it because rules are rules. And we need to get back to some of that. You mean? And then when this broad went to social media, she really blew it up because she intentionally wanted to politicize it. She assumed that he was a white Republican Trump supporter, and it backfired. I fell out when I found out that he was a Cuban Democrat, anti-Trump. She must have felt like 2 cents waiting for change. Okay? And then the other thing that people are missing, she said she had a child with her. If she had her kid with her as a mother, as an adult, she was supposed to teach her kid how to do the right thing. If it says 10, look at it. See, it says 10, so we're not going to go there and do 11 unless the cashier says so and nobody else is around. You mean when you do anything, you got to look out for the people that are coming behind you, and you have to teach your children to follow rules and regulations. I would love to cross the street in the middle of the block. But when you have kids with you, you really make sure that you do it on the corner in the crosswalk. You mean you got to teach kids that. You don't be teaching kids because children watch what you do more than they listen to what you say. So you got to show them how to do it. So she messed up right there. The other thing is, this isn't her first time she was pregnant. I know that our hormones could go crazy and we could cry and blow up anything at the drop of a dime. But she was pregnant for a second time at least, so she knows how this works. She should learn how to handle it. She's a woman. We are women. Being pregnant is not a handicap. Being pregnant is our reason, but it's not an excuse for bad behavior. And if she was any kind of a woman, she would know that instead of being in there trying to act like all big and bad like a strong black woman, she would have learned how to purr. Because purring will get you a lot more than roaring. Women, it works. Okay, it does. It does. You know it does, Honcho. I know it does. We're old school. Purr, young girls, a bit more. That doesn't make you weak. You know what I mean? It makes you real calculating, and you know how to get what you want without roaring and acting like a dude or a big, strong woman. Purr. What was I going to say? Let's see. Okay, and then the interview. She was in that man's face with her finger in his face. That was unbelievable. And while they're trying to interview him, she was steady cutting in front and cutting him off. She had no business. You're right. Body language showed everything. So if she was doing it in front of the cameras, imagine what she was doing behind the cameras. And I'm not totally letting this guy off the hook because he did go through another register without any problems and things, but it really did bother him, and he needed to tell her about herself because it didn't affect him at all, but he felt like he just had to say it, and people do need to be corrected. All she had to say was, "Well, my bad, sorry, but it didn't affect you." There could have been a nicer way that she could have handled that. The other thing is, you want to talk about us dealing out in public? One thing that really ticks me off when I'm out in public, when I'm driving and I let someone go past me, and they don't give me a head nod or put their hand up and say thank you, that makes me want rewind and not let them by. That's rude. And the other thing that people don't know that I would teach my students and my kids, when you're traveling, especially in America, you stay to your right. When you go to England or even Barbados, you can go to your left. That's where you stay to your right, whether you're in a car, whether you're walking down the street, whether you're walking in the mall. When you're at the airport, those moving sidewalks, you stay to your right because some people are trying to get to the next gate, trying to catch the next flight, and they need to run past you. You have to stay to your right. When you're dealing with an elevator, some people, the elevator stops, the door opens up, and they're already trying to rush in, and it's crowded. You're supposed to stand back and wait for people to get out first, because it clears it out, and then you go in. That's how that should be done. But some people aren't taught these things, and even kids don't know how to do these things. Okay, and just like when they were talking about, remember the parks where black people would have cookouts, and the white girls were calling the cops and things? Yes. Yeah, that was precedent. They got used to doing the cookouts there, but I understand sometimes you can't because of fires. People take charcoal and they put it in the garbage barrels and it catches things on fire. Rules are rules. If you're not supposed to do it, then you just don't do it. Just because you've gotten away with it doesn't make it right. And if you don't correct people, it becomes precedent. They're like, this is the way we've always done it, so we can't continue to do it. People need to learn to follow rules and regulations because there's no place that we want to be on this earth where people aren't disciplined and don't abide by rules and regulations. You don't want a doctor that doesn't. You don't want patients that do it. You don't want those kind of people anywhere. People in the stores running all wild, and doing whatever they want. When it's chaotic like that there, nothing can function properly. So we just need to do the right thing. If it says 10, do 10. And if you go over 11, make sure you let everybody know, I have one extra one, but I turn around and say, you don't mind, do you? I just have one more. You mind if I ask them? And if they have a problem with it, then I'll back off and I will go to the next one. She was being rude and ignorant, and that's not a woman that I want to represent me. Pregnant or not, she should be honored that she can do that magic trick, getting pregnant and pushing a baby out her hoo-ha. That's a great thing that we can do. Don't be sitting there acting all wild and crazy. But I think that's about it. I'm going to just lay here and listen to my den. You don't know how, Honcho, do you know how much Miss Grace misses you guys?
Man, I think I was saying that yesterday, man. It's just because I think I missed on Saturday, and I'm just like, man, you know what? When I'm not in the den, when the den folk aren't all together, it's a different feeling. My day goes a little differently. It's like I don't know what it is, but I do enjoy getting to chop it up with y'all. Whether we argue, whether we all on the same accord, whether we're agreeing, or it's just I've grown an attachment to the den folk, and so I think this is a great community. I think everybody is wonderful.
Absolutely, and I know what you're saying is genuine. You mean we know it. It's absolutely it's genuine. You get out there, Honcho misses up. I was at the beach yesterday. I missed the death. I bet you they missed me too. But I'm gonna get off the phone and just lay here and listen. Okay?
All right, Ms. Grace, I appreciate you calling in. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, bye bye.
All right. Man, Ms. Grace made a brilliant point, though. An excellent point. When it comes to the kid, laying down a proper foundation, if nothing else, teaching your children to do the right thing. Because if they can ignore that posted sign, well, we might as well ignore stop signs. We might as well ignore every other sign that is out there. Like, I agree with what she said. You know, you teach children the proper foundation first. Then you teach people then you learn how to kind of skirt the rules when you can get away with shit. When you're teaching somebody basketball, you don't teach them crossovers and you know, the fancy shit first, and then they don't know how to learn how to play the fundamentals and they can't work well in the team game. Same thing in football, the fundamentals. So the fundamental is following the rules that are put here in place, regardless of how you feel about them. Then once you have some experience, then you learn how to adapt to what society allows and doesn't allow. You know, some of it's. Huh? Hello? What? No, I need to know. Hold on. I had you muted, so nobody heard that. But I need to know what just happened there. What did I just miss?
Okay, so I had sent you a message saying I need my 79 pistachios, but then I realized I spelled it wrong.
Oh, okay. The 79 pistachios.
It was petty shit.
Okay, we're gonna be petty. It's a petty Monday. So Miss Ashley, what are your thoughts on the incident? I mean, just dealing with people in public. What are your public pet peeves, and you know, kind of how do you feel? If you want to speak on the previous incident, you know, you can feel free to.
Like, what really drives me wild is when people, like, tap or touch me, like, a little bit. Like, bump into me, and they don't say anything. That is so annoying.
I understand that, yeah. I do it. Sometimes I do it deliberately. I can't lie, not to women, but when motherfuckers be just looking a certain way, like, I be pushing buttons. I ain't gonna lie. Like, sometimes I'm gonna see what's really going on, especially when motherfuckers look a certain way. And so
That's so weird.
But no, it's like, especially like when you're walking like somewhere and you know people, like you try to give people a little bit of space. You know, like Miss Grace was just talking about walking to the right, and then people will still kind of force that little area. So I'm not gonna move over anymore. I'm gonna just bump into you and act like ain't shit happened. And I'm gonna bump you. I'm gonna give you a nice little shoulder check, and I'm gonna keep on going. But I mean, the thing is these are when people have space and they can move, but they choose not to. I'm gonna shoulder check, and I'm not even gonna turn around and see what happened. And if you say something, then well, we'll address the situation as needed. But that's your own fault. If you have space and I don't, and you still gonna kind of press that little area, well, fuck you. I ain't finna adjust. All right. So you don't like when people bump into you and don't say anything.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how often does this happen to you?
Pretty often. I mean, not too often, but it happens.
Do you go to a lot of crowded places? Would you say like in clubs or anything like that?
No, not like that. Like when I'm grocery shopping.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what it is, but people at foreign markets are pretty pushy.
You think it's a culture
I've
thing?
noticed that. They're aggressive shoppers, yeah.
Aggressive shopper, that's interesting. Okay. So, what do you have any feelings on this incident that took place? Do you feel either way? Do you not care? Like, how do you look at this?
I don't necessarily care, but I don't think it was any of his business to even say anything.
Okay.
Like, why would he feel so entitled to police somebody at a grocery store? And if I was her, I would have just broken up my transactions, and he could have bitched about that, but fuck him.
Okay. So Miss Meat, you call him a racist, and I don't think the man is a racist. I don't think just because a person of a different race has an interaction with someone black that makes him a racist. They can be an asshole, but until it's proven that he said something racist, which I really don't believe he did, I don't think it's fair to call him a racist. That's slander. That type of stuff gets you arrested. But here's my thing. But even though he should have minded his business, do you think that what he did was, well, I guess you could say it was wrong in a sense, but was it illegal? Do you think it was threatening? Do you think it was harassment of any sort?
I think, well, I just don't see why he felt the need to even say anything. Of course it's not illegal because people can say whatever they want. Just like she could have cursed him out or said something offensive about Cubans when he mentioned it. But anyways, I don't think it was his place to say anything. He should have complained to management and left it at that. I would think anybody approaching me for something that's totally none of their business is threatening to me, because there's no reason he needs to do that.
Okay.
It's not like he didn't look threatening. If somebody is coming up to you telling you, oh, you're doing wrong and you should go back to your country, like, that's literally none of his business.
But what if he didn't say that? I cannot believe that man said that. For some reason, whatever it may be, I just cannot believe it. Like I said, he admitted to calling her a bitch.
I don't believe a lying white motherfucker for a damn thing. I don't care what he's saying. I don't care. It's none of his business.
So much racism. So would it have been different had it been a black woman that told her something?
That a black woman told her that what?
If it would have been if this interaction would have been between two black women, do you think this would have been a story at all?
She could have possibly have made a post about it because she's pregnant and irrational. Like, that's not surprising to me. I don't know if it would have been different if a black woman would have told her a black man or an Asian or whatever. I don't know.
Okay. Because
I would have.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, so I was just
no. I mean, I would have told anybody off at that point. Regardless of what color they are. I would have, because it's none of their business.
So, does her being pregnant give her any special benefits?
It doesn't give her any special benefits, but everybody knows pregnant women's hormones are out of whack. So her being irrational isn't surprising, and I'm not going to fault her for that. Like, whatever, but, like, who makes a big deal out of going through the checkout? Like, that's none of his business. I just don't see why he wouldn't have left it at the management. And if the management didn't do anything, he should have called corporate.
I think, did he say, no, they told him that he had to call corporate. It was corporate rules that they can't say anything. So here's how I look at it. Me personally, your items, if I'm in line behind you, your items are my business until you put down the little bar. If you don't put the bar down, then it's my business. But you put the bar, you separate your shit from my shit, then I'm going to mind my business. That's the way I look at it. Those are my rules, and that's how I'm going to push it. So if you don't put down the food separator bar, because then if the cashier puts some of my food in with your shit, then it's my business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why if she didn't put the bar down, she's in the wrong. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Mm-hmm. Is that what happened?
Huh?
I said, is that what happened?
No, I'm just talking shit. No, I don't know if the little bar was involved, or not, but I always find that funny because most people do that. You ever go to the store and then somebody, like, people, if they put the little bar down, I don't want my shit with your shit. I keep my shit separated anyway. I don't want your fucking whatever the fuck you buy. I see people do that. They put the little bar down, like they got a little attitude. I don't want my groceries with your groceries anyway. My groceries are better than yours. Fuck your groceries. Yeah. Okay. Okay. No, I'm just kind of being an asshole because I really, like I say, honestly, I really do think it's petty. I don't have a problem with because again, this is where the line gets drawn because when it's favorable for people, they feel like it's okay, but when it's something they don't like, and people say no. It's freedom of speech. He has the right to say something. Is it the best decision to make in that situation? No. But he has the right to say something. And so you can't fault him and then feel like, well, I can say whatever I want to say to somebody. If somebody else is doing something, I can say something, even if it is right or wrong. If you're telling this man that he can't say anything about something that has a posted rule, whether the store is following up on it or not, he has the right to make commentary about what's going on. Hey, man, the rule of the sign up there says you're supposed to have 10 items or less. Whether or not the store upholds it or whatever, she gets to get away with it. That's neither here nor there. But he made commentary about her action, basically, and that's what happened. And then it escalates into a big thing. Now it's a big racism thing. My big deal about the whole thing with it being a racism thing is that, again, even if it was, it's like the stupidest racist shit ever, and nobody's life got threatened. She was not in fear of her life. She's like 2 feet taller than that dude.
She wasn't fearing for her life. Like, why do people think that white people are automatically safe?
I didn't say
I don't get that.
But have you seen?
But you're saying you didn't feel threatened for your life. But if somebody's coming up to you, you don't even know this person. Why are you coming up to me trying to police or enforce store policies? That's none of your business. You're coming up to me negatively, and that's not your job. Okay. So yeah, I would feel unsafe.
But my thing is this.
Personally.
Well, okay, and I can understand that personally. She's I don't know what her height is. I don't know how big he is, but she's much bigger than this man. And just the experience from seeing that interview and the demeanor in which she approached him in that interview tells me a couple of things. She didn't just automatically right then build up that courage because everybody was around. She had that same energy whenever they were in the store. I guarantee it. And there were not signs of fear between her and him in that interaction. So she may have been upset. She may have felt, disrespected. I could agree with all of that. She was not at any point in time in fear of her life dealing with that man.
There's women in domestic violence situations that get beat every day that'll talk smack to their significant others in public because they feel safer. She knew he wasn't going to beat her on camera or anything crazy. Like, how do you know how she feels? She could have felt safer on camera because she knew he wasn't going to do anything like that. You don't know that, and you shouldn't make an assumption based on how she's acting.
Okay.
If she said she feared for her life inside of the store, then maybe she did.
So we shouldn't make an assumption based on how she's acting, but we can make an assumption based on that gentleman's race?
What about his race?
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. We have people
He's a white Cuban. What is he saying? Like what?
Because
he's a white Cuban?
So allegedly because of that he's a racist because he told her something about her behavior. So because he's white and she's black, we're automatically assuming that he's a racist. I'm not saying that you said it, but this is what a significant number of people are saying. So if we're not to make assumptions about how she felt, why are so many people making assumptions that he's a racist just because he said something?
I mean, if she said it was racist or if she felt a racist undertone, I don't know. I've never heard her say anything like that.
She claimed that he said to go back to where you're from. And the guy is like a super liberal, super Democrat guy, anti-Trump guy, and a bunch of things. He said he didn't say that. He said he did call her.
I say racist shit all the time, and I'm a black woman. Like, what does that mean?
But what I'm saying,
your stance on anything has nothing to do with if you're mad at somebody, like, I say the craziest shit when I'm mad at somebody, and it's usually racial. Like, that has nothing to do with it. Like, I don't believe this white motherfucker for a minute. He's probably lying.
So, but we're making assumptions again, right? We're putting but are we making assumptions? Are we putting our energy onto somebody else? And I say racist stuff. I say racist stuff on stream all the time. I think it's hilarious.
Like I hear people say racist stuff all the time, even though they're not technically a racist. Like, like I wouldn't personally think they're racist, but they say racist stuff all the time. Like, what does that mean? Like, people say the craziest stuff when they're mad, and if you're that upset about someone using a register that you're not even You're not even bagging up the groceries. Like, why would you have a problem with that? You're in a totally different register, and then you're going to leave and come back. Obviously, he was pretty bothered by it. Like, why would you do that?
But does he have the right to be bothered by that?
Yes. But I don't think you should approach someone with confrontation at all. You should complain to management, and if you don't get to where you need, complain to upper management. And if you feel it was so wrong, then maybe you should call the police and file a report. But that's not his job.
Okay. Okay. Like I say, me personally, I have no problem.
Tell me about some white Cuban. Fuck that.
So have you ever eaten a Cuban sandwich?
Yes, they're delicious.
Absolutely. So let's put some respect on his name.
$5. He's like, I'm not even gonna.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're entitled to feel how you want to feel. I'm just curious. I'm just riling people up today. I'm enjoying it. Okay. So, you have any other thoughts on the situation, on the outcome? Do you feel like she was wrong for pushing it out into the media like that, or do you feel like she was justified in doing it?
So did he call for the media interview or the
She got on.
media to come?
She is a politician, and she got on Facebook Live and basically told everybody she was accosted by some racist. And then it blew up into a thing. And then he said that I guess she had an interview the next day with the news at the store where it happened. So he showed up to clear his name. And then he told his story.
I think that makes perfect sense. He should definitely do that.
Okay. But when he tried to clear his name, again, she repeatedly cut him off, interrupted him, accused him of certain things. Like I said, I don't know if you have a chance to see it. I think you should check it out because I think it tells a lot personally. But so, I mean, does he have the right, if she put her story out there, does he not have the right to put his side out there without being, interrupted or, harassed while trying to share his point? Because he said he went and he watched the tape, which she hadn't watched already. He said he had already talked to the police. They had already seen it. He talked about the incident. He said, if you watch the tape, you can see where she was actually the aggressor. He said something about it. He was nearby. He pointed at the sign. Then she stepped towards him. So he didn't step towards her. He was just in the vicinity pointing out the situation. So she
like, what if she wasn't able to read? And what if she couldn't read numbers? Why would you do that?
She's a politician, so how is she getting voted for? How is she an elected official, but she can't read?
He didn't know she was a politician, just like she didn't know he was a Cuban, which I don't think that his nationality has anything to do with him being white, but whatever. Anyways, he didn't know whether or not she could read, and he shouldn't be enforcing store policies. Like, if I wasn't able to read, not even that this is the case, but if you're pointing out something at somebody and they can't, I just don't get why he felt so entitled to act as a store employee and try to enforce rules. That's really ridiculous.
I'm gonna be honest though, if you can't read, shopping is probably not what you need to be doing.
That has nothing to do with it. Like, he didn't know her situation or whatever. He should have just minded his own business.
Okay. All right.
Reeks of white entitlement.
Okay. Anything else you would like to add, Miss Ashley?
No.
Okay. I'll make sure you get those. What was it? 79 pistachios.
Yeah, those pistachios.
And I'll get your 1,000 pistachios for calling in.
Well, thank you.
And I appreciate it. And I thank you for sharing your perspective and your point of view.
Well, thanks for taking my call.
All right, you have a good
day.
All right.
You too, guys.
All right, bye. What I notice is, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know, man. I think the ladies and fellas tend to have some different, looks on these things, and I think because of the elements that pertain to women in this story, the pregnancy, I think the race plays a factor with certain elements. I see different things. I'm not saying every woman is in a court all the way down on the same side or anything like that, but I noticed some things, because what I look at it is like this. I'm a fair play kind of person. Because when you let emotions get into the deal, you lose every time. Every time. You let judgments get into the deal, you lose every time. So if I go and make an assumption about somebody, this person's this, and this, I lose because I've made these assumptions. Now, we talked about prejudging the other day. Now, there's certain things that are going to tell you certain signs. But if I'm just going off past it, oh, he's a small kid, he's a racist because he told a black woman something. He should never tell a black woman, man, get the fuck, I'm going to tell a black bitch some shit just as soon as the next motherfucker. If the bitch is out of line, the bitch out of line. I don't care if she's white, black, Mexican, I don't care if she don't speak English. And I'm arguing with her, we having a bilingual argument. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Now, was it necessary for him to harp on the shit? No, but he did, and there was no illegal action by him doing that. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this afternoon?
What's up, Honcho? It's John from New York.
John, my favorite New Yorker. What's the motherfucking deal, man? What's on your mind, John?
Man, we're still talking about this, huh? It's a hot topic.
Yeah, we carried it over a little bit. I want to just, really talk about public interactions, but, how we should treat each other. But then, this kind of came along with it. But how you feeling today?
I was initially calling you to kind of parlay this into something that the news hit just recently, like an hour or two ago on the internet. But I want to, for a second, take a step back. And that last caller who just called, I don't know what her name was. I know it was a female that you just got off the phone with. She said it reeks of white entitlement. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a store, whether I was minding my business, whether I was doing something stupid, and a black person came out of their mouth and told me how they feel when they could have just kept their mouth shut. So it's not white entitlement. It's someone who felt passionate about what I believe is a petty thing, and he opened his fucking mouth. There's plenty of times when a black woman will open her fucking mouth to someone. Usually it's not a black guy, usually it's a black woman, but there's people of all races and cultures and religions and ethnicities that come out of the mouth and say shit to someone else when they're not the authoritative figure, whether it's petty or not. So she needs to take whatever insecurities and hatred that little girl right there you had on the phone has and fucking push that bullshit to the side. Because she's not fooling nobody. Because that's the same girl who said her grandmother was half white, but she's disgusted when she sees an interracial relationship, but yet she's the product of one. Tell her to shut the fuck up. I'm sick and tired of hearing her fucking voice. But anyway, I didn't call to pick fights with your callers. So, some people are just fucking stupid and sick in the head. They don't make no fucking sense. But anyway, I was calling to see if you saw the video about Future's bodyguard getting knocked the fuck out in Ibiza, Spain at the airport.
No.
So what happened was, because I thought of you when the title said, interactions with the public or whatever your title is of the video today. And I just got done watching this video and a different YouTuber talking about it. So basically, Future and his bodyguard landed in Ibiza, Spain, and they just got off the flight. And like a group of I don't know, they called it a white mob. I don't know why. In the video, you'll see that the first kid you see is a black kid that's with them. But anyway, basically went up and said, "Hey, we're your fans. We want to get autographs." And Future says to the likes of, I'm too tired, not today, guys. So then they basically said that the white mob decided to beat them up and knocked out Future's bodyguard. There's a video of it. The guy just falls face first, like a tree getting cut down, and smashes his face, and he's out cold. It's fucking sleepy time. And then the kids are running around on the video, sticking their faces, "Oh, we just knocked Future's bodyguard the fuck out." And I just thought about how you interact with people. Like, people get reckless, and then it's ready to the Erica Thomas thing automatically. If you Google Future's bodyguard, the first thing you see is Future's bodyguard attacked by white mob, white boys go wild, this and that. But, it's if you watch the video, the first thing you see is a couple of black kids videotaping men beating up the bodyguard. And then they said the white kid had a brick in his hand, and it was a racial attack, but the kid had no brick in his hand. You could see the video. So, how you interact with people, they asked for a picture. He said no. Some people will say, well, he could have just stopped for his fans. That's how he makes his money off of his fans, buying his music and going to his concerts. He should have just stopped and said, yeah, no problem, guys. I'll take a picture with you. And some people will say, oh, well, that's his right to not take a picture or whatever. But I just wanted to see if you saw the video, because it was a pretty brutal knockout.
No, I hadn't seen it. I'm going to definitely check it out, though. Definitely be looking for that very soon. That sounds like something I definitely got to check out. So was Future, was he harmed in any way, or was it just the bodyguard and they just kind of...
No, he walked away. He walked away, and he went to go sit like it looked like maybe 30, 40 feet away by the baggage area because it happened outside of the airport. And he's sitting down, kind of just like alone. I'm just like, yo, you just left your fucking bodyguard there. Like, granted, it seemed like there was maybe 5 or 6 kids that were doing that were like, you know, in the quote unquote mob. But I mean, that's your fucking bodyguard. And I know a lot of these rappers rolling around with bodyguards who are also their friends. How you gonna let that fucking man get knocked the fuck out and just leave him there like that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying you had to fight off the mob, but I mean, you could at least act like you wanted to or something. Like, that's your fucking bodyguard. You know what I mean? Like, he's sitting there putting his life on the line for you, and granted, he's getting paid and probably getting paid well to do that. But I mean, come on, man, have some fucking decency. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't even know this fucking guy this bodyguard getting beaten. I wanted to jump through the screen and fucking help him out. It's like, yo, this fucking... It's just. I mean, in the video when it first starts rolling, the bodyguard's walking away with one shoe on, and he's got blood on the back of his sweatpants. So you know he was tussling with somebody. Yeah. And then some kid just runs up from behind him and just pop. I mean, like jumps. He does one of those like leap punches from like a comic book movie. He jumps into him. I mean, we're laughing, but it's horrible. And he punched him right in the side of the fucking head. He just went straight. His arms folded in and just went straight down and landed right on his fucking face. And then you see him getting up a little bit later in the video, and he just got some white meat hanging from his eye, and just they're pouring water on his head to try. And some people came over to help him out. And he's trying to get up, and he fell right back down because, you know, his what is it called, the equilibrium or whatever it is, got all fucked up. And I just thought it was horrible. You know, you don't want to take a picture or whatever, but you don't beat people up over shit like that. But and then in the media right away, attacked by a racist white mob. I'm like, motherfucker, you saw the video. It's on your fucking website that you just wrote this article. The first kid in the fucking video is a black kid that's with them fucking video and it's saying shit like, you got knocked the fuck out. Like, how is it a racist white mob? And then the video and they had another YouTube video that was inside the airport. I guess it must have happened like right after they asked for the picture and he said no. And you hear some guy with he had like I mean, I guess maybe on profile, but he had like a black African accent. He's like, you pussy nigga, like, and I'm like, dude, how is this a white mob? I'm like, it's a bunch of fucking young kids who got no fucking respect for nobody. They need to go to jail for what they did, but it ain't a fucking white mob. There was some Muslim guy on Twitter. He had a Muslim name, and he had a blue check mark, and he's like, "This is racism, and this is because of Trump." I was like, "Come on, guy!"
Fucking blue check marks, man.
Like, come on. I was like, "Come on!" Like, worry about ASAP Rocky fucking being in prison in Sweden because fucking he supposedly assaulted 2 fucking Muslim guys. Because that's a no-go zone in fucking Sweden. The Muslims are protected, and now that's the reason why they're fucking keeping him in jail is because fucking he fucked with the Muslims in fucking Sweden. So please, but yeah, in regards to this Erica Thomas thing, I forgot to mention earlier this morning when I called. When she did that first video where she was crying on the Facebook live stream, I didn't realize it at first, but I went back. She strategically put on a "I Stand with Planned Parenthood" T-shirt during that video.
Word.
Yeah, if you go back, it's a pink shirt, and you can see it's backwards, I guess, because of the mirror reflection or whatever. And it said you can see "I stand with," and if you go, you can see it. That's a Planned Parenthood T-shirt, and that was like recently a very hot T-shirt amongst the liberals. So you're telling me like you fucking that's fucking you're crying, and the first thing you thought of, let me grab this shirt. Come on, man. If that happened to you, you'd be a mess. You wouldn't be thinking straight. Come on, you put that fucking shirt on.
No, she's very strategic in her actions. It's even noticeable how she said she repeated the phrase that was on her shirt that she wore yesterday whenever the interview took place. And for the thing, she's talking about "I'm a blessed mommy" or whatever, and that's what the shirt she wears. And it just, I think she's very calculated in the things that she says and does and how she's operating. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I don't know if you have anything you want to ask me, but I just wanted to drop it.
No, I think that's all I got. I'm going to check that video, though, out. I'm going to check it out after the stream, but I appreciate you for sharing that with me.
Yeah, just Google Future's Bodyguard. It'll come right up.
Okay, that's a bit. All right, John. Well, I appreciate it. Shout out to John. Even though I saw Thunderbolt say shout out to the greatest New Yorker, only one lie. John is still my favorite New Yorker. Only one lie, just steals pistachios and wants to be swindled until she started calling in more. I ain't even trying to hear it. But I appreciate it, John.
Thank you, man. Have a good day.
All right, you too. No, I only want to lie. You alright in my book. I ain't even gonna do you like that. You alright in my book. So, you know, yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to check that out. Definitely gonna have to check that out. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this afternoon?
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, this is Rashida.
Hello, Miss Rashida. How are you, Miss Rashida? What's on your mind this afternoon?
I'm good. I just want my pistachio.
Oh, no. See, look, see, now you're trying to pull, now you're trying to pull a Shannon on. You got to have a valid call with some input on the topic. I can't just be throwing free range pistachios everywhere. Then they go down in value, and then how that's supposed to work? These pistachios have a level of economic value. Okay.
I ain't trying to hear all that bullshit. Just don't throw my pistachios up. Hey, Andy. Hey, K. Grace. How you doing, girl?
You got to talk about the incident.
Here in a minute. I can't really give too much input on the case because I really don't know about the case because I couldn't really find it. Now, so if you can answer my questions, I could give you more of my opinion.
Okay, what you got?
Okay, my question is, the interaction was between a black woman and a Cuban man, right?
Yes. But
okay.
He appears to be white and everybody's calling him white. So.
Okay. Now, he had already checked out before her, right?
He was in line behind her, then he went to another line because the other lines were available. Yes.
Okay, so he didn't actually check out in her line.
No, he went to another line. She got in the express lane, so he went to the other line.
Okay. Now, he had checked out, went outside, and came back in.
He checked out, went and spoke to two customer service representatives. He said he put a foot outside the door, then he turned back around before completely exiting the store to go and address the situation. Okay,
so at any point was he actually behind her to see how many groceries she had?
I'm assuming he had to be because he knew that she had more than the 10 line of groceries. So he had to be able to see somehow, some way.
I'm asking questions. I didn't say what he said. So if you can't help me with the story, then shut the fuck up. I'm talking to whoever in the chat. And I'm just asking questions.
Okay. So he had to pay some kind of level of attention to be able to know that she was over the allotted amount of grocery items.
Okay. So was that a line that he could have gotten in?
He had 3 items. She had 15 or 12 or 11. So the numbers continue to change. They were all open lines, but she got into the express lane with over the allotted amount of items. Apparently, he felt like he should have used the express lane having the 3 items.
So why didn't he just, if she was in a line, she hadn't checked out, why couldn't he just ask her, can't he just go in front of her because he only got 3 items? I done plenty of time to let people go in front of me because they had a couple of items and I had a lot. So why was that not something he thought about doing?
I don't know because he said, like I said, he said the other lanes were available, so he went to another lane. But I don't think she would have been with that because she was already talking about how being pregnant that she couldn't stand up for very long. So I don't think she would have been willing to let him go. That's just my assumption, but it's a statement that she made.
So even though he only had his 3 items, he was still checked out before her.
Yes.
Because she was still in the store.
Yes.
So it really didn't affect his ability to check out because he still beat her in the checkout.
Yes, in the checkout race, he came in first place.
So even though he came in first place, he's still upset.
Yes. He wanted access to the express lane.
See, the bottom line is he should have minded his motherfucking business. And that's the problem with people. Not just white people, all people. Man, your motherfucking business. You at the grocery store to check out and go on about your day. It ain't your business to be counting how much stuff in somebody else's cart. Period. Okay. You don't know if she got up to the checker line and she's gonna put some shit back.
No, look, she better do that for her hand. I'm gonna tell her something. Look, y'all getting line for me just because y'all been going against my partner Eric, whatever his name is, Sparks, whatever. I'm gonna start counting bashes. I'm finna start checking everybody. Anytime I catch anybody in the express lane with one too many items, that's their motherfucking ass. I'm gonna record that shit. I'm going on the Facebook and I'm talking about everybody's going down. I'm finna start a revolution. We got to stop this nonsense, all this free reign over habitual line stepping.
Okay, so he confronts her. I'm saying because I don't really, I don't know for sure. He confronted her, or right?
He confronted her, and what he said was, he said, "Excuse me, ma'am, not to be rude, but this is an express lane." And then after that, he said she stepped towards him and said, that I don't give a crap, and some other things. And then that's when it all escalated between the both of them.
So he don't work there. He confronted her about how many items that she had in her cart, even though she's bringing more income into the store than he is with his little 3 items. So which customer is more valuable to the store? You with only 3 damn items, or her with her 15 items?
I don't know. I think you would have to know what the items are for that to be properly figured out, because it could be 3 very expensive items, or it could be 15 pieces of gum.
No, you're always trying to.
But I mean, but I'm saying. That's a fact. He could have went and bought 3 pieces. I don't know what they sell it for. He could have went and bought some fresh seafood. It could have been a large quantity of seafood.
He didn't have shit else to do. Who does that? Mm-hmm. You come back to confront the customer. You take that shit up with management. Mm-hmm. Period.
And he said he went and talked to customer service representatives, but they said that there was corporate policy that they can't do anything about it. But they said that he could say something about it.
He don't need to tell her shit. Man, your business. How many incidents we done had of people calling the police on black people because they don't mind their motherfucking business? If you mind your business, you will live longer. Anything that came out of this case is on him, because had he went on to his car, instead of turning his stupid ass around, he could have went on to his car, called corporate if it was that big of a deal for him. You already talked to customer service. Now you got to go back and confront because you didn't get the outcome you wanted.
But they told him that he could say something. So they gave him the green light, basically.
Huh?
But if they told him that he could say something, is that not them giving him the green light?
They told him he could say something to who?
They said that it's corporate policy that they're not allowed to say something to the customers, but as a customer, he could say something.
So customer service told him to go say something to them.
They said that he could say something. They can't say anything about it, but he could.
Well, they gave him some bad advice. They probably just want to see some shit kick off. That was terrible advice. Terrible.
Okay, so past that. Now, like I said, I don't agree with most people. I think would agree and say that. Was it some petty shit that he did? Absolutely. Was it illegal? No. Was it
after the manager tell him that they don't enforce the policy, he gonna decide to go talk to her anyway?
I don't know. I didn't say anything about them saying the manager didn't say they didn't. I can only tell you about the videos that I've seen and what came out of it.
I was reading something in the chat.
I don't believe nothing she say. She from Dallas. She off in Dallas. Don't believe nothing nobody from Dallas say.
Well, I don't know the details of the case, so I'm just trying to catch up. That's it.
Okay. Now, aside from that, the interaction she said happened, though, because this is where it really took off. Because again, just an argument between two customers, that's not anything newsworthy. I think that happens all the time, everywhere you go. I mean, just all
now,
over the place.
Ms. K. Grace, I agree that the policy should be enforced, but they should be enforced by the people that work there. Mm-hmm. Now, if they don't give a fuck, you should just take that up with corporate, because you need to go over their head if you feel like the policies Anyway, I done checked out with more than 10 items in the express lane, and I wish a motherfucker would get in my bid.
See, but you got them all the time. But that doesn't make it, just because you can get away with it, just because it's not, doesn't mean it's right.
It's not getting away with it when they bring you to their line.
Okay, but that's different. Nobody said, like, now if there were 3 open lines and she knew that she had more and deliberately went to that one just because it was the most convenient. Is that not technically inconveniencing the next person if they actually have the required amount in the express lane? Even though all the lines were open, and yes, they could go elsewhere, but the express lane is designed for 10 items or less. Right?
Sometimes when you trying to buy something, you have to buy you buying too many other items, so you have to do 2 transactions. She could have been doing 2 transactions.
So
see now, had he named his motherfucking business,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't be in a situation he in.
But if you're an express and it's an express lane and you know you got to do 2 transactions, is that express in any kind of way? Wouldn't it be better just to go to a regular aisle? Because then that kind of defeats the whole point of express, right?
Whatever aisle you want to go to, long as the cashier really willing to ring you up, that's all that matters. If it wasn't nobody behind her, they had a couple items or whatever, and she wasn't holding up the express line, I don't see what was wrong.
Okay.
Now, if a person had been behind her, they had 2 or 3 items. I can understand they being there, whatever. But he wasn't even behind her. He in a whole nother line with 3 items. He probably was mad because she beat him to the checkout line.
What if he wanted to talk to that cashier?
Well, he should have came back and bought another item and talked to it. They have items right by their register. You can do that.
You just gonna do that, Scotty?
Who want to talk to his petty ass?
You just gonna lay on my cord like this, Scotty? You're a disrespectful ass dog. You know that? Get your ass out the way. All right. Man, only walk. Give me some of them bugles, goddamn. Don't be. If you ain't bringing enough for the class, don't talk about it. Okay, but here's the thing though. After that, so. This is where I think the case actually started making news because again, like I said, it's just an interaction between 2 customers is not important.
She did a live, right? What did she say?
She alleged that he made racial statements. Now, did you hear about the whole thing with Trump recently or last week, where allegedly he told they said all the congressmen to go back to where they're from? I think he was focused on one. And it is what it is, but I just think the way he used the tense of the wording, people, tied all of them into it. But so she said basically that this man said exactly what Trump said. So she came out and made it seem like he was a Trump supporter and he was this big racist and that he told her to go back to Africa or go back to where she was from and all this stuff. Dude, it comes out that the guy's like a super liberal, anti-everything, anti-prejudice, anti-Trump, anti all this other stuff. So again, a lot of people are alleging that she used this for political gain because the man admitted, he's like, when he came to the thing, he's like, yeah, I did call you a lazy bitch, but because of, the way you confronted or whatever. But he says that he never said anything about go back to your country. She says that he did.
You know what? That's where she went wrong. By saying all that extra shit to him. When he came back with his leg, want to tell you about yourself, what you doing, you ain't supposed to be in that line, just say okay. And go on and curse his ass out and tell man his motherfucking business, and that's the end of it. See, all that back and forth, that kind of shit unnecessary. I had an incident in the checkout line before with a white racist man. You know what I'm saying? He said what he said, I said what I said. That was it. You know what I'm saying? And when I got outside, I want to run his ass over with the car. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, I know that my freedom is important.
Yes.
It don't always have to get to that next level. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna be in this store going back and forth with this man. I'm gonna say he said what he said, and I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and that's gonna be it. Cause especially when you know it's a store you like to go to. That was one of my favorites. I wasn't gonna look. I'm crazy, but I wasn't gonna get put out my favorite store.
Okay. So my thing is this: do you feel like and this is where let me get your opinion on it. Do you feel like she being a government official, because she's a Georgia state representative, so she's...
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Can you speak up a little bit? My phone kind of low.
Okay, I said with her being a government representative, state representative, so she's a politician, okay? Mm-hmm. Her going on to Facebook Live or Instagram...
What is she?
I don't know. She's a state representative. That's as far as I know. So her going on live and then painting it as a racial incident, do you think that was right or wrong, or should she have left that as just an altercation between two customers in the store?
Yeah, she should have just left it as a petty disagreement, because that's what it was. He was being petty and she was being extra, because you don't have to do all of that especially your position in the city or whatever. You don't have to do all that going back and forth with him. Let him say what the fuck he gonna say. You say say what you got to say back, and go on about your day. You don't have to do all that back and forth. That's unnecessary.
And
But
yes,
I'm
Miss
definitely
Sunshine, we
not
live right
sitting
now.
in line and watch it.
Okay.
And then if he keep talking, you call security. Security. Can you escort this nosy petty motherfucker out of my face?
Man,
Period.
I'm telling you,
So
she
you
could
going
have
back
took
to
that man.
see, that's what she should have did. That's what she should have did. You don't have to do all this back and forth. You there trying to check out, get your groceries, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Won't nobody help you if they got security or a manager? Hey, y'all come escort this customer out of my face. He said something, I said something, it's over. He won't leave me alone. You sometimes in a situation you have to take the high road. You don't do all that jaw jacking with him. You know what I'm saying? He not worth your time. Period. Now the old Rashida would have, did a lot more, but I'm a work in progress.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let them say what they gonna say. I'm gonna say we gonna only be doing one round. We ain't doing this 3-4 rounds. You said what you said, I heard you. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and then we gonna move on.
So, do you think that if because she said she felt like her life was in danger, should she have called for security if she felt like her life was in danger?
She said, why was her life in danger? He had a knife or gun? What's up?
No. She said that she felt like her life was in danger
Was he
because
threatening? Was he hollering?
I don't like I said
It's
he
an
said
incident
that
on tape. See,
the
I need to see the actual incident because a lot of times when people going back and forth, the memory gets fuzzy. You forget what you said. Well, you claim to, or you hear some extra shit that didn't.
when your emotions get involved, the memory can be a little tainted, and that's my whole thing. Like,
I've had incidents with people, I forget some of the shit I said and some of the shit they said. So, that can happen. But yeah, she did too much, you know what I'm saying? I don't think she was scared for her life, but at the same time, him just coming, to her like that to confront her, you know what I'm saying? I didn't understand that part myself. You
no,
her
it was petty. It was
being in
just
that line didn't affect your ability to check out your 3 items.
no. I mean, also it was petty shit. I
And
mean,
then,
there's
and
no
then in
nothing. There's
two,
no
and then
nothing
in
around it.
two
He was just
instances
being
for
petty as shit, and that's
you
that's
had
all it
enough
was.
time to go to customer service, go
Petty.
outside, and she still was in the checkout.
But come on, like
So come on now.
but we've
What
all seen every time you go to the store, it's that one person. They may not be interacting with you, but we all have been to the store and just seen some overly petty ass motherfucker. Everybody has, like whether it's
I
a
told
regular,
you I had
everybody
an
has.
incident, but you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah, and so like I say, again, I don't think it should have blew up the way it was. I think it should have been. I think we should never have ever known about this story. I think it should have been in
Exactly.
and
It
died
was
in
it wasn't
Publix.
worth
But
it. It wasn't worth it on both parts. She started being petty, trying to make it blow the shit up out of proportion, and he started by being a nosy petty motherfucker. Maybe that'll break him up out of that. Man, your motherfucking business. Period.
but should his life be in danger for something like that?
Who threatening him?
Apparently, people are believing what
Why
she
his
said
life
about
in
that he said
danger?
all this racist stuff, and so people are threatening his life because people are believing that she said that she's doubling down on that he said all this racist stuff. I'm gonna be honest, it's hard for me to believe just looking at the
We
dude. But
got
again,
enough police. We don't need no extra civilians trying to be police. Stop trying to police people. Man, your motherfucking business. They get paid for that. You ain't getting paid for that. Now your damn life in danger over what? Over you being petty and stupid? Yeah, he went on to his damn pie. He wouldn't be in this situation.
but is that justifiable for him addressing that his life should be in danger?
It wasn't nothing him talking to her was gonna do. She still gonna do the same shit. You think that's gonna stop her from going in the checkout line with her 30, 50 items? Hell no. Ain't nothing gonna stop her but the people at the store. Him telling her that ain't doing shit. So what did he accomplish? He ain't accomplished shit. He got the worst end of it. Even if she did lie, people don't give a shit about her lying at
But
this point because people feel like he was both.
but what I'm saying though is the lie not more dangerous than what he did? If you push people that, hey, there's this raging racist running around threatening my life, do you not think that's going to make people react a lot more than a story if it said, oh, this man told me I had too many items and we had a little bit of a disagreement?
Now her line don't change back to what he did though.
No, I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying that it does, but don't you think that makes it more dangerous when she puts out the racist rhetoric behind it? If that man did not say those things, doesn't that taint his public image now? Isn't he viewed a certain way when that may not be his character? Huh?
I agree that she shouldn't have lied on him. Yeah. She made the situation worse, but she wouldn't have had a situation to make worse had come out of his motherfucking bed.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. But,
No,
you,
what people,
but if we want to be, I mean, but if we want to be all the way petty about it, well, it wouldn't have been a situation if she wouldn't have gotten the right line.
wait, black people is sick of white people calling the motherfucking police on them for petty bullshit. Period.
But nobody
Do
called
you
the
know
police.
how many cases of people calling the police on black people? Remember they called for the little girl that was selling her water?
Yeah.
Then they called for something else. It's just been case after case of white people calling the police for bullshit. And people are sick of seeing the shit. Now, she added some extra shit on there. She wrong for that.
But doesn't that make it look? But this is what I'm saying. And I understand exactly what you're saying. Because when they call for bullshit, I'd be like, man, this some bullshit. This some stupid ass shit. I remember the motherfucker Walgreens because the lady had a coupon. He ran to the back crying and calling the police on her. I understand those things. But when you have the fake allegations, don't you think the fake allegations do more damage because then it does one of two things? It hinders the people who have real racial interactions because then people find out, oh, this was fake. That might be fake too because people are just like Jesse. Everybody
People
think,
see what they want to see from a story. That's what you take from a story, but somebody else gonna take from a story. They gonna take away the part where he didn't mind his motherfucking deal. If his issue was with them, the store not enforcing policy because they the front line on it. That's up to them. If that cashier was checking her out and knowing she had over the items, then the cashier was supposed to have been dealt with, not the customer, because you're going to do what you're allowed to do. The cashier allowed her to do that. So if you have a problem with how a company runs their business, who do you contact? You contact the person at the top. You don't go to customer service. You call corporate if you want to get something done. So had it really been an issue for him, that's the route he should have taken.
okay. What you looking at, Scott? Don't look at me like that.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You know,
I wouldn't bother with talking to people in the store. That does nothing. You call corporate, period.
Okay.
And if she did lie on him, she should issue an apology, period. I don't know if she lied or not. I haven't seen the tape. I haven't heard the audio.
My thing is that with her being in a political position that she's in, you know, it's going to get people riled up, especially with all the stuff that's already been going on. If that man didn't say it, then yeah, an apology needs to happen. But if he did say it, then okay, it is what it is. He needs to own up for what he said. But I'm just saying, from the approach, the interaction that they had when they were both in the same place. So there's a video. I mean, when she was doing an interview, I guess he came to clear his name, and just that interaction that they had right then.
I'm sure the store
It
has
tells
the
me
video.
something different. Yeah, he said he saw
I'm sure
it.
the store has the video. Put the video out, and then we won't have to assume what he said. We'll know.
Exactly.
Or the cashier that was standing there. Obviously a witness. Did you hear him say that? Period. End of discussion.
Straight up.
We have to get a third party on this one because I don't believe neither one of them because he trying to cover his ass and she trying to.
Rashida just hang up on me? Did Rashida just hang up on me? You ain't getting no pistachios for that. No pistachios. You just gonna hang up on a nigga? Can't believe it. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Hey, this
Afternoon.
is Sunshine. I've been trying to catch up with you all. You all got me all confused.
Okay. Well, what you got going on, Miss Shaw? How you feeling today?
Well, I'm just kind of coming in. To this story, and I'm looking at an article. It's by Time.com about this legislator Erica Thomas and what we're talking about. And I'm coming in short notice, but here's my fundamental position on this. You know, it's like, is this another shopping while black? You know, and all the different scenarios that we have. Let me just tell you something. As a mother, there's been plenty of times when I've been in the express line and I didn't want to violate anybody's expression laws or express laws. Sometimes I have to sit and I actually try to make an effort to count my items to make sure I'm not going over. I have to sit there and do the extra this or extra that. But when you're talking about a 10-item express lane and somebody that was over by 5 items, that's just totally shenanigans and ridiculous. For somebody to get in some whole big altercation on that, I'm not sure with the emotional downloads on it, but on Time.com, it says, I think her last name is Thomas.
Yes.
His last name is Sparks. Okay, so he actually admitted in this article that I did call you, and I'm reading it verbatim off of Time.com. I called you a lazy expletive. Sparks said to Thomas. That's the worst thing I said. So when I read this, and Thomas, who is a legislator, she never publicly made known that she was a legislator. So he was just approaching her randomly. She wasn't in no line saying, I'm a legislator of Atlanta. So he didn't know who this woman was. To him, it was just some black woman who had too much shit in her cart, and he was pissed off. And from what I'm hearing, if he wasn't even behind her, she didn't even upset him in his process. So that just caused alarm to me. You weren't even behind her. So if you weren't behind her with her extra shit, why did he call you extra aggravation? Because you feel some extra white Cuban privilege. That's why. Okay? So let's listen to this article that I'm reading. It says, I called you lazy expletive, Sparks said to Thomas. That's the worst thing I said. So what he's saying is that he basically admitted right there on the Time.com article, you go fight with them if it's a lie or not. So he admitted to calling you lazy, but what he's wanting to remove himself is from saying the words, go back where you came from. Now, if you listen to that very, very carefully, it doesn't matter what the fuck you said. In other words, what he's saying is that I called you a lazy expletive. Admit it. But he's saying that is better than, that's somehow more excusable than saying, go back where you came from. So he's denying saying, go back where you came from, but he's admitting saying, I called you a lazy expletive in Time.com article. Meaning that could be a lazy bitch. That could be anything.
He called her a lazy bitch. They just marked that because he said in the interview to her face when she was there, when they did the little interview, they had like a little 15-minute interview. He told her, he's like, the worst thing I said to you is that I called you a lazy bitch. He spelled it out. He didn't say the actual word, but so yeah, he admitted to that.
But here's what I have a problem with that. Which one is worse? It's almost like he's like asking everybody to pick and shit. Oh, I said this, but I didn't say that. I called you a lazy bitch, but I didn't say go back where you came from. Like as if one is better than the other.
I think in this context though, and in any general form of the word, I think it isn't. But I think with everything that happened like last week with the whole Trump tweets and just kind of the energy that was going on around that, I think by the go back to your country thing because of the Ilhan Omar and whatever else the other the squad or whatever that they were talking about. I think that phrasing would put a different level of energy behind it because of the incidents of last week. Any other time, taken out of context, I think it doesn't matter. I would agree with you. But I think just because of the energy and all the news, the press, the headlines that those statements were getting over the last week or so, I think by that being added in there, whether it was true or whether it was fraudulent, it is what boosted this story up.
Okay, so all right, I think I understand where you're going, but at the end of the day, nobody has no business harassing somebody with an extra $5 in a Publix line at the supermarket, especially if they're pregnant. I've been over probably about 10 items, and I wish somebody would come to me with that craziness for whatever reasons. Okay, so they're already being extra. So I think you're saying he's being extra and she's being extra. Somebody thirsty, but he was wrong off the break. I mean, in other words, to me, who started it? Fundamentally, who started it? She may have got extra, but what the hell are you policing me at the fucking grocery line? I got the police at the fucking grocery store too. I ain't got no peace in the grocery store, and I'm pregnant, and I got 5 items over than 10. Come on, man. That's just being over aggressive, and that's because he had a sense of privilege. Any other man, just like when you on the bus, I'm a woman, or I'm on the train. I'm a female, and I still have X amount of respect. I don't care if it's a white woman or a black woman. I'm on the train, a woman. I was traveling. I travel a lot. We're on the bus going back and forth to the airport. People have spaces. White woman, pregnant as day, all these babies. She had little babies and some little youngins. I'm sitting up there, crowded as hell, on the bus getting to the airport, all luggage and everything. Do you know, in fact, I had my children with me who are older. I had my son. That's what I do. Get up and give her, she got like a little baby. I say this baby's less than 12 months. That's just general concern and just caring for one another as human beings. Every time I'm on the train, I don't catch the bus no more. But back in the day, I'm on the metro, I'm on the subway, wherever I am. It doesn't matter if you black or white. It's just, I don't care. I'm giving up my seat. That's the same thing a man should do. And that's why I'm jumping on this dude. This dude, he had no business as a man. When you see that's how I was raised. This don't have nothing to do with race. You get on the train, you get on the bus, somebody pregnant, struggling, you get your ass up off that seat. And you give it to that patron, that citizen, that fellow human padre. So that's why it's kind of pissing me off, because I've been in that situation where I've been over the motherfucking limit. And you probably would have got cussed out if it was me. And it probably would have been a scene. So let's go back to the time.com article. It says that it was in a Publix. The supermarket is called Publix. It says Thomas was asked, a Publix employee, actually, I'm sorry. Thomas is a Publix employee asked Sparks to leave following the altercation. So the female was not asked to leave, but the male was. So I'm going to elevate this past all the thirstiness or past who trying to be political or who trying to get clout. I'm taking it down to basic man, woman, compassion, and being a gentleman or a gentlewoman. It's no way in hell, not the way I was raised. People can have another kind of belief. I don't care what a pregnant woman do. Not unless you got a gun or you cussing me out or about to kill me. You get on the train, you get in front of me in the damn line, you got a little bit too much. I'm not fucking with you. It's just, I don't know. I thought that was what everybody fucking did. Men and women. Being a gentleman, it's called being a gentleman scholar or a woman scholar. Have some goddamn decency. And I'm about to roll now. Love you. Love you, Honcho.
All right, Miss Sunshine, good to hear from you, and thank you for sharing your opinion.
Thank you.
All right, shout out to Miss Sunshine. Couple of thoughts on that, and I think times have changed, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to be a very gentlemanly person. I'm still a gentleman for the most part. I think it's how you carry yourself is going to be the response that you get from me. If a motherfucker on there and they loud and ghetto and seem real, I'm not going to go out of my way. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I'm not. But if it seems like somebody who's just in a situation, they kind of mind their own business, they discomforted, then, it's a different thing. But if you bring an attitude with your situation, I'm not going to give two shits about you. Like, because that's kind of where I wanted to get with some of this conversation. There's a dog on this desk. How do people feel about, like, in public places? Like I say, giving leeway to pregnant women or people with, disabilities. Because like I say, you give people an inch, they take a mile. Let's be honest. Everybody in here has been to Wally World or to a grocery store or whatever. And those carts are for people who have injuries, who are hurt, who may be disabled, may be very elderly. But y'all know the first people to get on them motherfuckers. I'm going to let y'all put it in the chat. Who's the first motherfucker to get on a cart when you go to the store? It's not anybody hurting. It's not anybody with a walker. It's not anybody with crutches or a cane or any of that. Y'all know who the first people to get on them goddamn carts are. They don't park in the handicap spots. And I want to talk about those two, and I got beef. Look, the pregnant lady getting the damn benefit, and she get the best parking spot. Damn all that shit. She need to motherfucking me walk. Get some of that exercise going on with the baby. Need to walk a little. The pregnant women parking spots should be at the very back. God damn it. You know what I'm saying? See, shame on all y'all. Yes, it is the big bodies. And like I said, y'all gonna be like, oh, you talking about fat people? I have love for the BBW community. But there's a limit to BBW, and then there's when you get into other things. But majority of the time, Scotty, you just gonna push buttons and just like, you really just gonna get comfortable on my shit like that, right? The majority of the time, it's somebody who is obese using the car. 9 times out of 10, it's not somebody with an injury. It's not somebody who's older. It's not somebody. I've seen a whole family of them one time. I seen a whole family, like, they just came, lined in, hopped on the carts. It was probably like a total of 5 or 6 of them. Half of them got on carts. Ain't nothing wrong with y'all. Y'all walked into the goddamn store just fine. I guess, again, it is what it is. They ride around the fucking Wally World like a motorcycle gang and shit. But I'm gonna be honest, though, it has to be like kind of embarrassing to ride in little things. You be on that bitch and that bitch start backing up and start beeping for real. That's tough. But that's all I'm saying is, like, come on. So what about people who really are hurt? Like, kind of like I previously mentioned about the people parking in the handicap shit. Like, it's just certain policies. Because again, right? Why is certain things okay and other things are not? Why have the policies if you're not going to enforce them? So I agree, public should be at fault. If you're going to have this lane, you're going to have this line, it should be enforced. And I know sometimes people it'll be more convenient to take that 1 or 2 extra items and say, oh, no, you need to go over here, go do it. But I think that it's going to add up. This is going to create a situation where now that there's going to be a stricter store policy for Publix, they're going to make them you're going to have to abide by the proper amount of items, because if you don't have the proper amount of items, now you've caused a racist situation. Now this man's life is in danger from pointing out that your store isn't following store policy. You know what I'm saying? That's tough. CT, yeah, I've seen little badass, but that's what I'm saying, because nobody takes it serious. I've seen some little motherfuckers on Walmart. I told something about it. A bunch of little kids, a bunch of little goofy ass girls riding around on the cars. They don't leave them in the fucking thing. Like, little stupid bitch, I need to go put this shit back. Like, it is what it is. And I'm not saying, look, if y'all pregnant and y'all got to go shopping, y'all need to get some Heelys. Okay? Y'all need to get some goddamn Heelys. And slide around the store. That way you ain't got to walk at all. You feel me? You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to help y'all out. I'm trying to get y'all some game. You know what I'm saying? That's all I mean. Look, I'm trying to help y'all out. Y'all don't want to hear no shit. It's because a man said, but if a woman said get y'all some Heelys and slide around, y'all would think that was the craftiest shit y'all ever heard. Y'all just don't want to hear me say it because I'm a man. Y'all or prejudice against my great ideas. It's all right. I still love y'all. Here's the deal. This is how we gonna do it. We gonna do something a little bit different. I'm gonna go ahead and kill the line here, and we'll let Miss Sunshine wrap it up for the day. So wind down, like I said, get down on time. Like I said, we're gonna get a little bit strict on the 2 hours, so that way, like I said, I can make sure I get y'all what y'all need. I'm gonna check out this future video here in a second. But here's the deal. Because it wasn't really supposed to be back about old gal. And as you see, everybody's spitting different facts. Everybody is spitting. Why they can't slide while pregnant? Why not? Why they can't slide while pregnant? I just don't want to. You pregnant being an excuse for being late. I've seen a woman do full ass workout. This motherfucker had kids and had a 6-pack like 9 days after giving birth. Might have been shorter than that. It was like 2 or 3 of them that did it. See, then this is what be happening too. I'm gonna talk about y'all for a bit. Shout out to Thunderbolt. I appreciate the love. Let me talk bad about y'all for a little bit. We gotta stop all this excuse making and this shaming. Because when people do exceptional things, we shame people for being successful. I saw some shit, since we talking about pregnant people, we didn't skew the conversation. This is part of my wind down. Seeing women who went through their entire pregnancy, they worked out and they did all that other stuff, had a smooth pregnancy, had kids, and then, like I say, between a week and a half later, back having 6-pack abs, all that other good stuff. People shame these women for being in shape after their pregnancy. Hey, everybody ain't able. Yeah, because you're not putting in the work. Of course you're not going to fucking be able. Like, I hate when people say everybody ain't able. Because you don't want to. That's really ultimately what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I agree. It's a courtesy. And that's the thing. People start having expectations. You know what I'm saying? I got this belly bump. I'm the man, look. I didn't get none of that pussy. That ain't me. I didn't bust that nut. It's not my kid. That kid might turn out to be one of these little baby kids. Might be terrorized. It might be a Dennis the Menace. Why I'm giving you special treatment? I don't know what kind of mama you is. Look, hey, all I'm saying is this. Here's the one. If my old lady is going to be pregnant and have to deal with all that, guess what? I'm going to go handle those menial tasks. I'm not going to be like, where you need to be out there. You lay your ass up, rest. If it ain't nothing mandatory that you need to do, if it's something that I can handle, I would handle. So there's that. And I already told y'all, if it was mine, yeah, they're going to get special treatment. Look, that's on the husband for not giving her the special treatment. You know what I mean? I can't do nothing about that. Like I say, I'm a cater for me and mine because I have ties to me and mine. I'm not just rooting for any and everybody. If I fuck with you, like I say, we den folk, right? I know y'all, in a sense. And so we kick it and hang out. I ain't gonna say I'm a cape for y'all, depending on what some of y'all be on some nonsense. I don't know about all y'all. But for the majority of it, we kick it if something go awry or a particular way, whether you're in the wrong or right, but because you affiliated with me, I'm gonna look out. But if you just some random motherfucker doing some random shit that I don't know shit about, I'm gonna be honest, I can't give a shit about everybody. Like, I'm not finna fucking do it, If it was my kid, what do you mean? But all I'm saying is this, right? You say you worked out during pregnancy, but you went over and doing it. Okay, and that's all I'm saying. But there was women who was blasting these women, putting them on social media. Oh, they this, and this, and because there was 2 or 3 of them that happened within a few months of each other, a couple of weeks, it was just something like that. And people were mad at these women. You know what I'm saying? And people were mad at these women for whatever reason, because they were in shape. No, it's not normal, but they went above and beyond. I'm sure they went through they went through all the same issues that pregnant women go through, but they fought through that because they were, fitness addicts or whatever else it was. So there's nothing wrong with that, right? So again, my thing is, it is what it is. So you don't get a pass on it, you can't carry one. Wow, I ain't finna listen to that nonsense. Because there's a lot of shit men got to deal with that women don't have to deal with. Y'all be having to put on all that nonsense. Well, look, they should have had better timing. How you know that's his kid? They should have had some better timing. Look, okay, I'm gonna have to deal with all this while you gone. Why don't we wait till you get back before we do that again? You know what I'm saying? I'm expecting no further need to mention. All I'm saying is exceptional people do exceptional things, right? And so all I'm gonna say is her situation was her situation. Pregnancy is not a plus nor a minus. It is what it is. It's a situation you got yourself into that you must deal with. You should not expect society to give a damn about anything you got going on. There's a lot of people walking around here sick, affect. Like, if we're just gonna make assumptions for everybody, well, let's assume that everybody has cancer. Okay, like let's assume that everybody's sick. Everybody's got some type of terminal illness. Like, all this assumption is like, come on, we got to stop doing that. You got to hold yourself to a certain standard of your character. You know what I'm saying? What about C-sections? What about those? Like, what am I supposed to do? I'm not the doctor. What I'm saying is, if you're having a whatever, I don't know what stipulations come with C-section. Some women just want to have C-section because they don't want to fuck up their vagina. So again, it's a lot of, I mean, what about them? I mean, it's causes, it's reasons, it's purposes. And I'm sure if you stay working out during the majority of your time, you have a C-section, and then I'm sure I don't know how long you're out of commission for a C-section, but I'm sure if you get back on it shortly after that, you'll jump back into shape pretty quickly. You have some people who get pregnant, have a kid, and this 5-6 years later, and they talking about, oh, this is baby fat from little Johnny. You know what I'm saying? I just can't get it because you're not trying to get it off. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's what I'm saying. Y'all be making these, like, all I'm telling you is I saw the women do it, or they did it, or whatever the fuck they did to make sure that they lost the baby weight. Now, y'all may or may not have, that's on y'all, okay? I can't tell you, I'm not having no kid, and thank God. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. I'd hate that shit, would be terrible. More power to you. I don't even want to deal with the little motherfuckers after they come out, goddamn. So much less having to carry that motherfucker. That shit sucks. Getting a dick supposed to be the reach, you should be happy. Okay, that don't mean, you know, hey, pull out game on fleek. Proper protocols. Did you hit the click and click? All right, there we go. Honcho HTX, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure you want to follow my personal social medias. Like the video, hit the subscribe button. If you're new to this, hit that subscribe button. If you're true to this, make sure you hit that like button and share. Den Show Live, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Den Show Live at Gmail. Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Central. 7 days a week, 10 p.m. Central. Make sure you tune in because YouTube will not give you the notifications. But make sure you got the dark notification bell hit. They still might not give it to you. You cannot listen Den Show podcast. Shout out to everybody who showed up Saturday for the live podcast. We're going to do that again this Saturday. If you want to go get the Honcho's My Homie shirt, go to dentoshop.com. You can get that and a variety of other items. I might sell Scotty on the Den Show shop, but he's getting on my nerves. He's getting late. He's just sleeping over here, pushing my damn keyboard all over the place. 833-284. You can call the Den line whether we're live, whether we're not. If you want to leave a... See, this nigga going to push the shit some more. See, this how I ass nigga. You can send a text message. You can send a screenshot. If you got an interesting meme, some type of picture you want to send, you can send that link, send those. All of those things are greatly appreciated. If you want to support the channel, shout out to Thunderbolt for dropping some digits. If you want to, One Piece. I ain't even going to say that. You're kind of right. You're a little bit right. I do that because you be napping, and I want you to be here on time, Nikki. So I do that for you. That's why you probably set your alarm for 1 p.m., but you be napping, and you probably hit the snooze. And 5-10 minutes. So that's why I set it back a little bit just for you. So you should be appreciative that I'm looking out for you specifically, even though you from Dallas. And you see the shades you throw on me. Look at you throwing shade on me. Streamlabs.com/ The Den Show. Shout out to the bonus. Shout out to all the Patreon supporters. Shout out to Kay Grace. Shout out to Dan, Diana, Betty Spaghetti, James, Tina Story, Miss Goya, and Donald Trump. I appreciate all of you for showing love to the future of this community and having faith in the Den and the Den folk as we continue to progress. And we gonna make it shake. Well, tell your job you need a break at a certain time. Or tell them to put it. Y'all got a TV at work, just put it on the TV. You know what I'm saying? And everybody can watch and get aggravated and irritated. Everybody can get mad. So there's that. Kids are overrated. Interesting. I've heard lots of women say that. I heard lots of people say that, honestly. Like, people with children have said that you know, children are overrated. But then some people say that they're a blessing. Oh, Scotty, you active, Scotty? What you hear, Scotty? You hear the maintenance man? Killer Scotty. Look at that nose activating. Lazy ass nigga. Scotty is your homie. All right, I'm gonna make a Scotty is my homie shirt. Y'all are terrible. You want some kids? You better go adopt some of them little motherfuckers. Not sure some people lose their babies behind heavy, but I mean you don't have to lift heavy. You can do a lot of repetitive light lifting. You don't have to necessarily be lifting heavy weights. You can do a lot of matter of fact, I gotta get my workout in today. So millennials are the most criminal generations. I agree, even though technically I am a millennial. Hey, D. Nelly, what's the motherfucking deal? Every day Donald Trump gets a shout out. Yeah, Donald Trump. I mean, that's the name that is supported under the Patreon supporter. So if Donald Trump supports the Patreon, I got to shout him out. But Barack ain't supporting, you know. So if Barack supports, then hey, you know, it is what it is. But I just gotta go by the name that is on the Patreon. So it is what it is. So with that being said, man, I guess actually we got like 3-4 more minutes because I started about 3.5 minute mark. And so Patreon is like a different platform where you can make a monthly pledge, and so there's certain tiers. So like what I've been doing, usually I did have the tiers separate. Like so if you pledge so much, you get certain things every month. Like Patreon supporters, they get their names and the credits of the short videos. Some of them are in the description. They get access to certain videos that other people don't. Like right now, oh, matter of fact, I'm glad you mentioned that. Right now, I told y'all today to stay tuned because I'm gonna tell y'all how y'all can get access to all of the old Kush Den videos, but I'm only gonna do it for 1 week. I'm only gonna allow access to the old Kush Den for 1 week, and the way that you're gonna get it is you're gonna have to tune in tonight, and I will tell y'all early in the stream tonight how you can get access to that. But right now, all the Patreon supporters, they have access to all those videos, and those videos are terrible. They are terrible. I don't love Trump. I don't really give a shit about Trump at all. I don't give a shit about Trump. I don't give a shit about none of the politicians. I just want people to think rationally and not emotionally. And what that means is that people have love for Barack and swear he did all this great stuff, but can't say anything. The only person who's ever said anything that Barack has done legit is Miss Me. Anybody else is, they have nothing that he's done. Miss Me is the only person I've heard, especially black person, that said, oh, Barack did this and this is how it benefited my life. Nobody else, I've never heard anybody else say anything positive. So I give her credit for that. But Donald Trump, as far as dealing with black folks, again, you can talk about whether Barack had an impact on it or not. You can talk about the employment levels. You can talk about the First Step Act. We also talk about criminal justice reform. We can talk about actually reaching out in certain aspects of trying to help individual criminals, trying to help ASAP. There was a guy had a similar situation in China under Barack's watch. He's not getting out to the end of this year because Barack didn't give a shit. He didn't reach out to try to help the man. Black dude. He was a former athlete. You can talk about the ball kids, you know, when that little situation in China with a middle ball kid, you know, Trump reached out. So we sit here and we talk about, oh, Trump is this super racist. If he's like this big of a racist as y'all say he is, he's doing a pretty piss poor job at it. A lot of people say, well, he said there's good and bad people on both sides. Okay, that it is what it is. Y'all, we get mad, oh, he won't denounce the white supremacists. Okay, cool. Oh, Gal doesn't denounce, what is it, the Al-Qaeda and you know, people who actually had the terrorist attacks on American soil, but people love her. Oh, she's being oppressed, she's being this, and this. The standards are different, and that's all I'm saying. Hold the same standards accountable. If I don't like you for this reason, I'm not gonna like this person for this reason. If I like this person for this reason, I can like, race has nothing to do with it to me. Fucking sex has nothing to do with it to me. None of these things matter, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. Like, y'all say, oh, you just rooting for this person. No, I don't give a fuck. I'm not denying a person because of that. So because I'm willing to embrace a person as they are, I'm not looking at, well, they're white, so that makes me feel this way, or they're a woman, so it makes me, I don't give a shit about none of that shit, because ultimately, and maybe I have a different experience because I'm a man, because being a large black man in America, it's a different result. I think small black men get treated a different way than large black dudes. That's why you see most of the comedians are small black dudes, because they're safe, they're funny. So maybe my interpretation, my treatment is different, but I look at my personal circumstance. I don't look at other people's outcomes and allow that to determine, because what you got to understand something about the brain. The brain's real funny. I don't know why I'm wearing these hot ass earphones, but you got to understand about the brain. And when you go seeking, because a lot of people they wake up and they want to find some racism today to prove their point. I don't do that. I wake up and I have a notebook, and I'm getting back at. I told you I used to study, powerful black people who have had success in this country and have done very well for themselves, coming from nothing, right? That's what I study. I study those because that's a controllable outcome. Well, what do these people have in common? How do they have success? How many people are familiar with, we're going to do a quick poll before we get up out of here. 0 for no, 1 for yes. How many people are familiar with James W. Barfield out of Detroit? And so that's my thing, and I don't let anything else play into a factor, because I think that can cloud your judgment, because you may judge a person in a negative way and they have good intentions for you. You may judge a person in a positive way and they be the ones that pull a rug from under you. You know what I'm saying? And I've had these experiences happen because I looked at somebody else, they this and this, they ain't got no, or because they didn't greet me with a happy, smiley, friendly face, but they gave me opportunities to better myself. They taught me things on how to better myself. Or the person who's smiling in your face, what's up, dog, and doing all this, that, and the third, and while they pulling money out the back of your pocket, not literally, but they trying to finesse it. So that's why I say I look at everybody accordingly. I play it a certain way. Ruby Roo, really? You're familiar with James W. Barfield? Are you from out of that area? I'm not gonna say too much else about that. Are you from out of that area? Anywhere around in neighboring states or anything like that? Because I guarantee you, most people have never heard of him. Don't know who he is, has no idea who he is. And I find his story to be extremely intriguing because, again, something from nothing. His method was hard work and, over delivering. Wow, Shannon, you don't know no James W. Barfield is. That ain't no damn actor. He ain't the new Blade. You don't know. You went and Googled that shit real quick. But my thing is this, man. I'm a firm believer. I will not sell myself any bullshit. I will not sell myself negativity. Because what people don't realize, when you sell the kids these things, they use that, they rely on that as to why they can't have success, why they can't win. If you go and you tell a kid, you'll never make it in this country because you're black and it's this and this and this and this is going to happen to you. Maybe that's where all these fearful kids are coming from, right? Okay, no, I'm not trying to dox you. Text me yay or nay if you know, or I don't. You ain't got to do nothing. Don't even worry about it. But I just find it intriguing that you may know. I don't know why I don't trust Shannon. I don't think Shannon knows. I think Shannon just trying to be part of the cool kids club. But he's a guy. He's basically a self-made millionaire. I want to say he's been. I can't remember if he was in the 100 millions or not. But you don't know him. Most people don't know him. He's black. He's an older gentleman. I believe he's still alive. It's been a few years since I checked up on him. But started out as a janitor and worked his way up to becoming a significantly wealthy gentleman. But the reason we don't know about him is black folks in this country where we talk racism, we talk oppression, we talk all this stuff. For all the stuff is, he made it from hard work, dedication to his craft, and taking the opportunities that were presented to him. Not an entertainer, not a clothing designer, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with any of that shit, right? But there's so many stories of black people who have done successful things. That's why that's part of my narrative. Like, I love everybody. It's not like I say, yeah, I was not. Oh, what you flinching for, Scott? Ain't nobody finna hit you, nigga. Damn, so he just died. Okay, tough. Okay, yeah. So, like I said, it's been about a year or two since I checked up on it. But I knew he was getting old and he was doing a lot of stuff. There's been a lot of successful black people who've come from nothing, and so I hate hearing the same old narrative. And that's my whole purpose, is to tell a different story. Oh, you can't make it. This is happening. These things happen to certain types of people. right? And if you associate in certain manners with certain people, I didn't get all the way into the one about the vegans, the vegan kid or something like that, 11-year-old vegan kid. And that's what I'm saying. And that's the problem. Like, we need instant gratification. We need this. And so guess what? His kids, his offspring, they're going to be all right. But that's the problem that we have is we're so concerned with seeking out racism and prejudice and all this other stuff. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but when you make that the highlight of your life and of your day, you won't have time to discover, figure out, or learn anything else because you're so occupied. What you seek is what you get. There's lots of James W. Barfields in America. There should be a lot more, but we don't know about them because that's not what we attribute our attention to. You got people who are getting wealthy off of us by telling us, hey, there's a bunch of racism. You know, Sean King, this nigga ain't even fucking a nigga. But he's eating good now. If y'all ain't paying attention, Sean King is sliding over into the political realm. He's getting into the LGBT because he see that's where the new money is. He's getting into the immigrants now. He ain't just about the blacks anymore. Now it's about the gays and the immigrants because that's where the money is. Like, if y'all don't see Sean King been playing y'all niggas for a long time, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? This nigga Scotty is snoring on the desk, wiggling his nose, eyes closed, kicked up. But all I'm saying is we got to make it shake. That's my concern. It's not that I'm not concerned about racism. I'm concerned about real racism. This petty shit ain't shit. It's not doing anything. It's just damaging some little white guy's life. But that she's capitalizing off it. If you'll lie about that, what else would you lie about for your own personal gain? That's the way I look at things. The Justice Mother said the same way. And so it's not about, I don't like, but I love black people. I love y'all. I want to see everybody win. You know, I want to see quality black communities for the kids to be able to grow up in and not look up to being gangsters and rappers and ball players, that they want to have the same, that they can see that they have the same opportunities as everybody else. That's my mentality. You know, but a lot of people say, you doing this, or you cooning, you Uncle Tom. And if that's what Uncle Tom and cooning is, because I want to see black children feel like they have and know that they have, because they have it, but they don't feel like they have it. Know that they have the same opportunity as everyone else. And if that requires black businesses being made that are not in the same, if it's not a barbershop, and I'm not knocking any of these businesses. If you make money legitimately, I'm not knocking you. But not a barbershop, not a rap label, not a car wash, not a clothing line, you know, but a variety of businesses that allow these kids to have a future. That's my mentality. So when you see it, I approach certain shit from a certain way, or I may appear dismissive of certain things, man, look, it is what it is. But what can you control? Can you control racism, or can you control your opportunities that you create? I can't control racism. I can't say, if people come in here and say a bunch of racist Jewish jokes and black, I can't control that. It is what it is. I mean, I don't give a shit. I know that I'm not. I got a little bias against the Asians because, you know, I'm a little jealous, I ain't gonna lie. But I can't give a fuck about, did you see, well, now you see this new generation of the loser Asians are starting to complain. The ones that like aren't winning, the Asians that are not winning, those are the ones that are complaining. But you see them real Asians, you don't see them out in the news crowd about this shit. They getting their money. The Asians are winning. They don't care about this shit. That's why nobody wants their vote. Andrew Yang don't even want their goddamn vote. You know what I'm saying? Not that kind of winning. Look, I'm talking about calculated risks. I'm not with just being reckless. You know what I'm saying? Okay, but how do you rise above it? By focusing on it, or by building opportunities for those who are feeling like they're victimized? You know what I'm saying? Okay, if I said, hey, well, this is what we got going on. I got treated with some type of prejudice over here at this job. They said I can't wear my hair a certain way. Well, let's march and force this job to accept your hair. Or say, hey, well, look, I got a black-owned business over here. I'm looking for an employee with your caliber and your skill set. Come on over here. I got a job for you. Which one is more powerful? Forcing our, like right now with black folks, this is the problem. We want to force ourselves into already created institutions and force them to accept us. I'm not forcing nobody to accept it. I'm not knocking it. Do what you do. But we cry racism, but in reality, it's a bunch of crybabies wanting to force people to accept you. That ain't fucking racism. That's just, it's like, come on, I don't even know what the proper term for, like, but fuck that. Build your own, control your fucking own, and you can do for your own. You can do, and that's what it is. They just ain't begging nobody from. I don't care if they got all the goddamn donut shops, all the fucking nail shops, all the fucking hair stores. Man, they corner the market and they exploit that shit, but they eating it, and they're sending their kids off to college to go do bigger and better things, and they're building up on top of that. But we don't want to do that. We want to be fly, flashy, and all that right now. We don't want to make that sacrifice to be that stepping stone. You know, half of us don't want our kids to be better than we are. Half of us can't do the math homework with the kids. Like, how are we an example? Like, what can we teach them? If you can teach them discipline and business principles, and I'm going to get out of here because I know this is a whole conversation. We might end up talking about this tonight because now I'm about to start getting riled up. And this is why, like, I when I talk about the pro-black stuff, like, I don't give a fuck about a motherfucker waking up, look at this motherfucker got beat down over here, this motherfucker got beat. Guess what? You build up your money, you build up nice neighborhoods, you can be as exclusive as you want to. Hey, this is a private area, there's no need for law enforcement to be coming through this area unless we called you. So there's no random patrolling, there's no random person getting violated if you feel like that's what's going on, or all of these things. But when you live in an area or you operate in an area that celebrates, promotes, and is full of high crime, and then what you think is gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. Like, that's what it is. Like, we don't want to hear that shit that hurts your feelings. I say these things and people, oh, you this, you that. I had to go through a transition, not trans. Okay. Oh, y'all quoting over here? What y'all quoting over here? Huh? What y'all got? What y'all talking about? Let me see what you got. Only one lie. So you can see negativity is very visible, so you can avoid it if you're not a part of it. But that's what I'm saying. You don't. Man, you can smell negativity. You feel me? It's prevalent. This is a negative world. This negativity ain't just racism. It's self-doubt. It's lack of ambition. It's everything. It's so much negativity. But my thing is this, man. We don't want to hear the shit that makes us feel upset. We feel like the people before us went through a lot of shit. I'm not dismissing that. And this is why I feel like what we do now is more disrespectful, discount the reparations and all that other stuff. We ain't talking about none of that. Whether you with it or not. You cannot say that now we don't move in a manner that is disrespectful to all those that came before us. Those who did fight for rights. Those who did, if you were with the marching, or those who did go through slavery. And now we like, well, they did a lot of work. We don't got to do nothing now. Man, we're in a situation now. We have more opportunity than ever, and we don't take it. If you swapped us out with the motherfuckers back then who wanted to take out, man, they'd have been took the shit and ran with it. We'd have fucking probably all clocked out. And it's terrible, man. It's like, it blows my mind. That's my mentality. It's not self-hate. I tell y'all all the time what I like. I like that nappy shit. I like the nappy hair. I like the natural woman. I like dark-skinned women. What kind of self-hater loves that kind of shit? Because I don't know what a math is. And people say, oh, you a coon. You this, and this. What kind of coon likes that? Because that's definitely anti-coon, if you ask me. I don't like other things, and there's justification and reason why I don't like those things. Because I think that there's a mentality that is associated with it. And people have their reasons for whatever it may be, and that's fine. Every person is individual is different, but there are commonalities. When you step back, when you're not a part of something, and you step back and look at it, you see things, you see trends. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is this, man. I fuck with y'all, and we gonna agree on a lot of stuff. We're gonna disagree. Sometimes it's gonna be man versus woman. Sometimes it's gonna be black versus white. Sometimes it's gonna be Christian, Jewish, Hebrew Israelite, whatever it is, versus atheist. It could be so many different things. But I want y'all to understand this one thing when you come in the deal. I can't speak for everybody, but I think in general we all have a well-being and a want for good from each other. But I fuck with y'all. Whether you like what I say, whether you don't like what I say, whether you vehemently disagree, whether you hate me. You ain't never harmed me physically. You ain't never tried, as long as you ain't never tried to undermine anything I'm trying to do. I don't care if you hit that dislike button, as long as you ain't tried to threaten me and my family. Now, it's them motherfuckers that come up with something, well, you ain't agreeing with this, but if something happened to your son, that's the only people who threaten me is people who don't like what I say, is the certain shit I say about black issues. That's the only time I've never been threatened by white people. I've never had these issues. Been around all kind of motherfuckers all my life. You know what I'm saying? And I've never had these issues except when you tell a black person something they don't want to hear. Well, when it happened to your family, why are you wishing that on me? Why are you wishing that on me? You know, I'm telling you, I want the best for you, and I think the best for you is if you don't focus on this and you look inside yourself and maximize your potential instead of hoping something else is going to happen. Well, I hope this bad. Why are you wishing bad on me? I'm wishing good on you. But aside from all of that, I want all y'all to win. I want people to find the best themselves, and not just black people, everybody. But I'm speaking as a black man and issues that I can relate to personally, and just my view of society. Because a lot of people say, "Well, this is the black story." Well, my story ain't like the black story. And this is from doing all the niggerish shit that all niggas done been through, and then still seeing it from a different perspective. Why? Why is that? And instead of people automatically saying, like, people who vote for Trump or whatever, "Oh, that's Uncle Tom's, they're this and that," listen to their fucking story. Why are they feeling like that? Like, why can't we accept that that person truly feels that way without them being an Uncle Tom, without them being a fucking this, that, or third, because they don't agree with us? But then we sit here and we'll back door and say, well, all black people ain't the same. All black people ain't the same. But then when somebody says something that you don't like, oh, look at that Uncle Tom, look at that this, or a nigga do good, get up out the hood, or he think he too good, or it's so much crazy stuff. And that's what I want to stop. I want to disconnect the emotion from a lot of behaviors and really look at it for what it is. But with that being said, I got to slide. I'm finna steal a couple of pistachios. I'm gonna give myself something to eat. I'm gonna beat on Scotty and all those good things because I'm an animal abuser. No, I'm just joking. Scotty look like a little goat. He knocked out. This nigga is real. I don't know how he's comfortable. This nigga sleeping on he on my phone, the notebook, the desk, got part of a foot on the keyboard, and he is knocked the fuck out. Like, real live knocked out. But I appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. I thank y'all for tuning in. Sorry about my little end of the stream rant, but you got to deal with it. 10 o'clock tonight. I fuck with y'all. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Guard your motherfucking nuts, because Sweetberry gonna steal your shit. I'm at Honcho and I'm gone, man. Yeah, I said that shit. Guard your motherfucking nuts. You know what I'm saying? What y'all in here arguing about? I see T'Challa in here active, so let me see what's going on. You know when T'Challa be there, she setting something off. Let us see. Guard your